Chapter 215, Contend for the Sea Serene Herb. The Pill Tower's foundation sure is very deep. Hearing her sigh, Luoli said with a smile, of course, the Pill Tower and the Smithing Pavilion are existences that all major and small forces on the Tianling continent are unwilling to offend. There was once a distinguished clan that offended a core authoritative elder of the Pill Tower, and then the Pill Tower placed them on the blacklist, announcing that all the pills from the Pill Tower would not be sold to them from now on. The alchemists of the clan left one after another. As a result, that distinguished clan was finally reduced to a third-rate force. You're also an alchemist. If you meet an elder from the Pill Tower in the future, it will definitely be beneficial to befriend him. Luo Li's voice was so soft that only Lu Mu Yen could hear it. Lu Mu Yen accepted his kindness. Then is there a connection between the medicine sect and Pill Tower? She thought about it and asked. There's not much connection. Although there are many alchemists in the medicine sect, but they won't join other forces, only serving the sect. And the medicine sect's pills aren't often sold to the public like the Pill Towers. Luo Li replied. Lu Mu Yen nodded. There were numerous pill stores opened by the Pill Tower in all regions, and their nature was indeed very different from that of the medicine sect. Elder Shao saw that many people below were ready to act, so he smiled and said, now, let's auction the force-nourishing pills first. There are 3 pills in total, and the starting price for each pill is 2 million purple gold coins. 3 million. 6 million. 10 million. Soon, the price was called to more than 10 million. Lu Mu Yen blinked. Refining pills really made a lot of money. She couldn't even buy half a pill with the purple gold coins she had on her. It seemed that she could sell some in the future. Seeing that Luo Li was also planning to bid for it, she nudged him with her elbow and asked, you want to bid for it? Of course. The force-nourishing pill is one of the high-quality pills of the Pill Tower. They are rarely sold on the market. He was afraid that Lu Mu Yen wasn't clear, so he even specifically explained, don't listen to how its effect is only to nourish the meridians and remove impurities. The most important thing is that it's able to purify elemental energy. I know that the force-nourishing pill can purify elemental energy, but do you think that just taking 1 or 2 pills can purify elemental energy? The force-nourishing pill belonged to nourishing-type pills and needed to be taken long-term to be effective. After taking 3 pills, it only had the effect of nourishing the meridians. It was impossible to slowly remove impurities without at least more than 10 pills, let alone purify elemental energy. That does seem to be the case. Luo Li furrowed his brows and considered it. He had also heard that the elemental nourishing pill had the best effect when taken long-term, but it was difficult even for pupils of large clans to buy such pills even if they had money, so how could it be possible for them to take it long-term? It's good even if it's to nourish the meridians first, he said after thinking for a bit. Lu Mu Yen rolled her eyes at him speechlessly. These people were just burning money because they had a lot. Seeing that he still wanted to bid, she tugged his sleeve and said, don't bid. I'll give you a pill later and I promise that its effect isn't inferior to this force-nourishing pill. The more she interacted with Luo Li, the more she felt that he was like that explosive little cat she once raised, and she left a softness in her heart for him, so she was naturally generous. Luo Li glanced at her with suspicion. She had grade 3 pills with the same effect? Looking down and seeing her pull his sleeve, his heart pounded. Even if this woman lied to him, he'd acknowledge it. All right, I won't bid anymore. Only then did Lu Mu Yen reveal a smile, very satisfied with this little cat's cooperation. Come and read on our website Wuxia World site. Thanks. In the end, the force-nourishing pill was auctioned at the price of 20 million purple gold coins, and Lu Mu Yan's eyes couldn't help but light up. The next auction of the elemental condensing pill was even more intense, basically to the point of snatching. Even the sword masters of the 3 other superpower kingdoms continued to bid. In the end, it was auctioned at the price of 50 million purple gold coins each, and many people expressed pity. After all, the sword masters who came to participate in the continental tournament for hegemony only had their own savings to use and couldn't ask the clan for support. Luo Li originally wanted to bid one for Lu Mu Yen, but she also stopped him. The words "you might as well give me 50 million purple gold coins than give it to the pill tower" almost made him explode again. Alright, the auction of the pill tower has ended. Now, the sword masters who want to trade are invited to take a number plate from the side and take the stage in turn. This old man will not say more, you can all progress freely. Elder Shao smiled and indeed walked down the stage and sat down. Both the pill tower and the smithing pavilion had their own plans whenever it was their turn to hold such trade fairs. The sword masters who were interested in trading stood up and went to the left to get the number plate. Even the sword masters of superpower kingdoms didn't dare violate the rules of the pill tower. I have a P-quality spirit treasure. The first sword master came onto the stage and began to introduce. The things that those who came on stage took out basically all required barter, so there were also no successful transactions. The things that the 7 or 8 sword masters at the beginning took out weren't bad, but none of them were of interest to Lu Muyen. Only when an indifferent, black-clothed man came up on stage, took out a profound ice jade box and opened it, did Lu Muyen sit straight up. This is the sea serene herb I found when I entered the competition space. Those who know it naturally knows of its effects. I want to exchange it for a grade 3 pill that can improve my cultivation base. If you don't have pills, spiritual stones can also be used to exchange. But it cannot be less than 200 low-quality spiritual stones. The man opened the profound ice jade box and began to explain the exchange conditions. The jade box was filled with seawater, and there were more than 10 dark green seaweeds dancing in the seawater, all of which were alive and well preserved. The sea serene herb was very useful to those who knew how to use it, but it was of no value at all for ordinary sword masters, so the people below were lacking in interest. Seeing Lu Muyan's eyes light up, Luoli remembered that she had asked him to help gather news of the sea serene herb and asked, "You want to trade for it?" "Of course I want to trade." Lu Muyan nodded. "This sea serene herb isn't worth that," he said, "to trade with." Luoli was afraid that she would be deceived. Lu Muyen said with a smile, "As long as I think it's worth it, it's fine. 200 low-quality spiritual stones is too expensive. If it's 100, I can still take it." Lu Muyen had yet to speak when a beautiful young woman sitting in the seat of a superpower kingdom said. The black-clothed man on the stage pondered for a bit and said, "If it's less than 200 low-quality spiritual stones, I will not trade." A look of displeasure flashed across the woman's eyes, but she didn't immediately increase the price. "I have a grade 3 pill here that I want to trade you, what do you think?" Lu Muyen flipped her hand and a white porcelain bottle appeared in her palm, then she directly tossed it to the man on stage. The man caught the porcelain bottle and swept his gaze over Lu Muyen. When he saw her cultivation level, he was only surprised for a moment, but didn't reveal any contempt or belittling. He opened the bottle cap and a scent of pills wafted out. A slight joy appeared on his indifferent face. He poured out the pill and picked it up with 2 fingers, placing it under his nose to sniff, then said, "It's indeed a grade 3 pill that can improve cultivation base, ill trade." The black-clothed man quickly put the pill back into the bottle, closed the profound ice jade box and prepared to toss it to Lu Muyen. "Wait a moment. I'll give you 220 low-quality spiritual stones. I want your sea serene herbs." The beautiful woman who had stopped speaking spoke up again, with a forceful and domineering tone. "I'll give you 220 low-quality spiritual stones. I want your sea serene herbs." The beautiful woman from the superpower kingdom looked arrogantly at the black-clothed man on the stage, and looked at Lu Muyen in her peripheral vision with disdain in her eyes. A woman from who knows where that depended on Luoli was worthy to contend with her. Originally, she also didn't need this sea serene herb, but her competitiveness rose. The indifferent man on the stage, who was about to make a deal, paused, glanced at the woman lightly, then tossed the profound ice jade box to Lu Muyen. "The trade is complete, you put the sea serene herbs away well." After speaking, he didn't even look at the woman who spoke again and went straight off the stage. So what if she was from a superpower kingdom? He was a royal member of a large kingdom to begin with. That woman wanted to lower the price before, and now she used such a domineering tone, as if an order. As if he would bother with her. What's more, He needed a grade 3 pill that could improve cultivation bases more. He only prepared to trade for spiritual stones as the last resort. The beautiful woman's eyes sank when she saw this, and anger rose on her pretty face. Then she turned her head and glared at Lu Muyen. Lu Muyen's eyes were cold. Did everyone think she was a soft peach one and wanted to squeeze her? Mu Tong, what kind of gaze is that? Do you take me for dead? Luoli suddenly became unhappy when he saw Mu Tong glaring at Lu Muyen with vicious eyes. Mu Tong was stunned for a moment and didn't expect that Luoli would criticize her just because she glared at her. That woman's face was just like a vixen. She was actually able to get Luoli, that wooden head too, to be so enchanted and stand up for her. Luoli, she's just a woman from a small kingdom, must you blame me? It's fine to play with such a woman, but if you dare bring her back, the Luo patriarch would definitely beat you up. Mu Tong didn't want to be outdone and sneered. There was a bit of killing intent in Luoli's eyes. Gathering elemental energy, he raised his hand and was about to strike her with a palm but was stopped by Lu Muyen. You're not allowed to fight here. If she leads you to fight, you will definitely be kicked out from the trade fair by the Pill Tower. Then wouldn't it have gone according to her wishes? Lu Muyen didn't ignore the scheming in the eyes of that woman opposite. Luoli's temperament was relatively straightforward and would most likely take action when he heard such words. When the Pill Tower drove them out, then they would be the ones to be embarrassed. The woman would not only regain her face, but could even continue to participate in the trade fair. Luoli originally didn't understand why Lu Muyen stopped him, but after listening to her, the anger in his chest grew even more intense. But he held back, and when he took a look, as expected, he saw Mu Tong's expression of disappointment. That's true. We won't follow that ugly woman's plans. He sneered and sat up straight. Luoli, you say that again. Mu Tong was about to provoke Luoli to act, but she didn't expect that vixen to have some brains. But after hearing the other party say ugly woman, her face instantly turned black. Luoli raised an eyebrow. Ugly woman. It's no wonder that people say that ugly people will do all kinds of things to get attention. I didn't understand it before, but I finally understand after meeting you. Haha, many people in the audience couldn't resist laughing when they heard him say that. Mu Tong was furious, but she was very rational and didn't act. She cursed Lu Muyen inwardly. If it weren't for that woman, she wouldn't have been spoken to like that by Luoli. Alright, let's start the next one. Elder Shao spoke slowly to stop the quarrel between the two. After speaking, he looked at Lu Muyen with a meaningful gaze, but he was mostly curious and wasn't dissatisfied. Mu Tong's face was grim, and she hated Lu Muyen and Luoli inwardly. Luoli's anger had yet to subside. He leaned over and asked Lu Muyen, that's it? Lu Muyen looked at him in amusement. Even I'm not angry, what are you angry about? It was just a few words. It wasn't as if a piece of meat was bitten off of her. Even if she wanted to repay them, she wouldn't use such childish methods such as arguing. I'm still upset. Luoli pouted. It's boring to quarrel with her back and forth like this, and also wastes time. Like it's hard to prank people. Lu Muyen said with a chuckle. Luoli's black eyes brightened and asked, how do you plan to prank her? He just knew that this woman wouldn't endure such slander. Besides, even if he brought Lu Muyen back, his old man would not only not beat him out, but he would even reward him. Come and read on our website Wuxia World site. Thanks. If Lu Muyen just casually took out a jug of spiritual wine, his old man would definitely welcome her as an important guest. But this kind of thing naturally couldn't be said to Mu Tong in public. Lend me your ears. Luoli moved his head closer and Helian Lai saw the two of them whispering. Although he couldn't hear them, but he could imagine that it was definitely not a good thing. He didn't have much interaction with Lu Muyen, but he was certain that she definitely had the kind of temperament that would retaliate at the smallest wrongs. For the rest of the time, sword masters continued to introduce the items to be traded. This is a black crystal diamond. If it is made into a magic tool, it will help increase mental energy and it will have the best effect on alchemists. I want to exchange it with spiritual tones. Minimum is 300 low-quality spiritual stones. It will go to the highest bidder. A burly and honest-looking man walked up to the stage with a small black stone the size of a thumbnail and introduced it. Mutong's originally calm face suddenly revealed a happy look. She was an alchemist. She had been looking for this black crystal diamond constantly. Who knew that she would meet it here? Black crystal diamonds of such size were also very rare. She could bring them back and ask the family's smith to help her refine a pair of earrings. 400 spiritual stones. She directly bid. Lu Mu Yen asked Luoli, "Do you have spiritual stones on you?" "Yes." "Do you want the black crystal diamond?" "I'll bid it and gift it to you," Luoli said with a smile. In a small and remote kingdom like Yenzhou, there were no spiritual mineral veins at all. All the spiritual stones used for the teleportation array were even given to them by large kingdoms each year. He guessed that Lu Mu Yen didn't have spiritual stones. Lu Mu Yen actually had spiritual stones, but the spiritual stones from the Yi clan was obviously not enough here. No need. Just watch how I prank her later. Lu Mu Yan's stunning little face revealed a cunning smirk. Luoli stared jadedly at the sly smile on her face, then immediately turned his head. His face was a little hot. This woman looked really nice when she smiled like this. Prank as you will. I definitely have more spiritual stones than her. He took a deep breath and curbed his emotions, saying, 700. One of them kept bidding against Mutong. Mutong definitely wanted to obtain that black crystal diamond, 800. The person was silent for a bit, then didn't continue to bid. Clearly, either the price exceeded his expectations, or he was short of money. Seeing that no one else was bidding, the burly man on the stage said with a smile, "This young miss has bid 800 spiritual stones. If there is no higher bid, this black crystal diamond will be traded to her." There was still silence below, and Mutong couldn't resist revealing a smug smile on her face. In fact, her heart still hurt a bit. Spiritual stones couldn't be compared to mere purple gold coins. Spiritual stones were a common currency among high-level sword masters and could also be used to cultivate with. She only had around 3,000 low-quality spiritual stones, and it was something that she had saved up for a long time, but this time, she used 800. Just when everyone thought that Mutong was definitely going to win the bid without any suspense, and when the burly man was just about to announce the winner, they heard a pleasant female voice. 1,000 spiritual stones. Everyone followed the voice and looked over. When they saw that the bidder was the alluring woman who was humiliated by Mutong's words earlier, they all revealed expressions like they were watching a good show. Come true one I think I've mentioned before, but the actual saying is soft persimmon, but it expresses the same thing. If one is a soft peach/persimmon that can be squished, they're thought to be weak and easy to bully. A blockhead basically. Someone who's dense. Chapter 217, The one I'm toying with is precisely you, 1,000 spiritual stones. Lu Mu Yan's voice wasn't too loud nor too soft and it perfectly spread throughout the entire venue. Yunzi Mo and the others who sat around her couldn't resist revealing some smiles. They knew that she wouldn't let things go like that. As for whether she had any spiritual stones, they weren't worried at all. They all knew that with her temperament, she definitely wouldn't let herself suffer. Seeing the provocative look that Lu Mu Yen looked at her with, Mutong narrowed her eyes and bid, 1,200. 1,500. Lu Mu Yen raised an eyebrow at Mutong. 1,600. Mutong bid. 1,700. Lu Mu Yen revealed a slightly pained expression. Mutong shouted with extreme hate in her heart, 1,800. 1,900. Lu Mu Yen was silent for a while before slowly shouting. Her little face was scrunched together, but also revealed an unwillingness to lose against Mutong. Mutong sucked in a deep breath, looked at the black crystal diamond in the hands of the big man with a deep look. Such a price had long exceeded the value of the black crystal diamond, but the unyielding anger in her heart had been suffocating her, plus she really did need it, 2,000. This was her baseline price. If this woman exceeded 2,000, then she wasn't going to bid again. In fact, after bidding, she already regretted a little. This was 2/3 of her savings. She suddenly hoped that the woman opposite would buy it and she could then snatch it when she had the chance. So she also cast a provocative look at Lu Muyen, pretending that she was bound to win. In her heart, she had long believed that Lu Muyen was just using Luo Li's spiritual stones to compete with her. As long as she was a little more forceful, that woman would definitely continue to bid. Lu Muyen burst out laughing. Her originally wrinkled little face instantly bloomed into a beautiful smile. Her clear, lively voice poured out of her lips. Young Miss Mu indeed has a lot of money. Congratulations on buying a black crystal diamond with 2,000 spiritual stones. If this black crystal diamond is made into a pair of earrings and worn on your ears, it would indeed match very well. She revealed the expressions of giving up and also being conflicted to win, so the other party would definitely be fooled no matter what. But she ensured that she didn't overdo it. If it were higher than 2,000 spiritual stones, Mu Tong definitely wouldn't continue to follow, so she gave up when the price reached the limit of the other party. It would definitely not only anger this woman to death, but also make her bleed heavily. As soon as the gloating in her words were revealed, as long as those present weren't fools, they all knew that Mu Tong was toyed with this time. 2,000 spiritual stone black earrings might make her not look so ugly. Luo Li immediately smiled and added a stab. Mu Tong's face burned red. It was out of anger. She pointed at Lu Muyen and said angrily, "You were toying with me? The one I'm toying with is precisely you." Lu Muyen folded her arms with a bright smile on her face, not afraid of her at all. Mu Tong didn't know what to say. She just wanted to kill Lu Muyen immediately, but she hadn't lost her reason yet. She suddenly revealed a smile on her face. "This young miss has no shortage of spiritual stones and spends my own spiritual stones with a peace of mind. Unlike Sumianwo uses a man's money to be prodigal with. When you lose your appearance one day, I sure want to see what capital you have to be so arrogant." Is she talking about herself? Lu Muyen shrugged and asked Luo Li with a smile. Luo Li looked Mu Tong up and down and said with disgust, "With just her looks, she thinks she's worthy for a man to take out money for her to use? You're thinking too much. If there's such a man, his eyes definitely would be covered with gunk." After speaking, he glanced at the man in brocade sitting next to Mu Tong. The people below listened to the taunts of the two and could hardly suppress a smile. But because Mu Tong came from a distinguished clan from a superpower kingdom, many people still held back and didn't laugh. For the first time in her life, Mu Tong encountered such embarrassment and humiliation. Now she just wanted to tear the two people into thousands of pieces. Come and read on our website Wuxia World site. Thanks, Mu Tong, sit down. The handsome brocade-robed man that led the team furrowed his brows and said. As soon as Mu Tong lowered her head, she met his displeased and stern gaze. Her heart trembled. She calmed down, then sat down, revealing the arrogant attitude of a daughter of a distinguished clan again. She had finally managed to snatch over the betrothed of that lowly elder sister of hers, so she definitely couldn't make him resent her. The Luo clan was much stronger than the Mu clan, but if she only dealt with that wild woman who came out of who knew what random small kingdom, it would still be as easy as stepping on an ant. She couldn't lose her bearing. Although she thought so in her heart, she couldn't help but bleed. The purchase of a black crystal diamond exceeded her expectations by 1,200 spiritual stones, which made her hate the two even more deeply. But she didn't even think about who provoked who first. When the next person came up to introduce, Luo Li asked, "Why don't you want that black crystal diamond? Often wearing it can really increase the mental energy of an alchemist." "That black crystal diamond is of no use to me," Lu Muyen said with a light smile. Her mental energy had already reached the point where it was being suppressed by this interface, so it was useless even if she wore an even more advanced black crystal diamond. Remembering that her mental energy was still dormant, she couldn't resist furrowing her willow brows. If she couldn't find suitable spiritual items in this space, then she must spend some time after leaving to quickly promote the breakthrough of her mental energy, otherwise even refining grade 3 pills would be difficult. Luoli didn't suspect much either, but he thought that if he encountered something better of this type in the future, he would keep it for her. Sitting in a corner of the trade fair was a stunning woman with a cold expression. Her appearance was not much inferior to Lu Muyen, with the two having their own strengths. She exuded a coldness that felt as if it kept people thousands of li away. When she saw Mu Tongbi humiliated and stopped by the handsome man, there was actually a hint of mockery on her lips. She looked at Lu Muyen curiously before turning her attention to the person who was speaking on stage. As the trade fair drew to a close, a black-cloaked man stepped onto the stage. This way of dressing made the people below take a few more glances, but they weren't that surprised. Most people in such trade fairs would indeed use their original appearances to trade on stage, but there were also some people who didn't want others to know their identities for various reasons. They would transform their appearance or do what the person on stage did and hide their appearance. As soon as he took the stage, he went straight to the main topic. I have a piece of soul-nourishing wood in my hand. I want to trade it for a spar that must be able to be used to refine a saint-level tool. His voice was hoarse and sounded like an elderly man. He must have changed his voice on purpose. After he finished speaking, he took out a profound ice jade box. After opening it, there was indeed a deep chestnut-colored branch with the thickness of an arm inside. After seeing the branch, the people sitting below couldn't help but be roused. The name soul-nourishing wood was as its name implied, it was a spiritual item that nourished the soul. It was rare in this world, and each time it appeared, it would definitely create foul wind and rain blood one. With the soul-nourishing wood, as long as the soul of a sword master, above sword monarch cultivation base, wasn't destroyed, even if they lost their physical body, their soul could still be attached to the soul-nourishing wood to be nourished. Then after re-strengthening their soul, they could search for a person who matched their 8 characters too and seize their body. Possessing the soul-nourishing wood meant that one wouldn't only be able to nourish their soul and mental energy but could also save one's life in a moment of physical destruction. Such a thing didn't only make the elite pupils of large kingdoms desire it, but even Elder Shao who sat there revealed an expression of desire. Lu Muyen looked up at the soul-nourishing wood in the profound ice jade box. This was precisely the spiritual item she was looking for to help awaken her mental energy. But she was just curious as to why this person was willing to put such a rare and peerless spiritual item for auction. When her mental energy carefully swept across the soul-nourishing wood, a look of understanding rose in her eyes, but she also had a little more confidence in obtaining it for herself. Come true one cause chaos, basically. 2. The 8 characters mentioned here, and you might hear quite often when talking about matchmaking, is basically an astrological concept that used 8 characters to divine a person's fate/destiny. The 8 characters/words uses one's birth year, month, day, and hour, of ancient times. In this case, they're literally talking about finding a compatible physical body so that the soul could then take over that body and kill the pre-existing soul of the person, unless that person's soul's already gone. In real life, it's often used by Chinese matchmakers to decide the compatibility of 2 people who might be looking for a partner in marriage in life. Chapter 2:18. When the soul-nourishing wood that the mysterious man took out caused a sensation in the audience. However, the people present were all elite pupils of large kingdoms and superpower kingdoms. After the excitement calmed, they also found something wrong. The value of soul-nourishing wood was simply incomparable compared to a mere metal attribute spar that could be used to refine a saint tool. Which sword master wouldn't hide it and tuck it away after finding one, for fear that others would desire it? But why did this person take the initiative to trade it? Many mental energies swept towards the man's soul-nourishing wood in the profound ice jade box. He waited for everyone's mental energy to have swept over it, then he said with a hoarse voice, "You must have also found out that my soul-nourishing wood is already withered to death. It can still be used to nourish the soul, but a soul cannot attach itself to it. If it weren't for this, I wouldn't take it out to exchange for my required refining materials." He didn't conceal it. Everyone had their own needs. If it were really a soul-nourishing wood that wasn't withered, then he'd be crazy to bring it out to trade. Hearing him say this, many people revealed disappointment, but then they scoffed at themselves. This should be how it was. There was a hidden smile in Lu Muyan's eyes. There definitely wouldn't be a lot of people contending for a piece of dead soul-nourishing wood, and the possibility of drawing fire to oneself after winning it was also lower than a live soul-nourishing wood. Others may not be able to do anything about a dead soul-nourishing wood, but the green sea of fog in her body could bring spring back to withered trees one. As long as she nourished it for a period of time, then this piece of soul-nourishing wood should be able to regain its vitality. Many people in the venue lost interest in the soul-nourishing wood. Although a piece of dead soul-nourishing wood did have the effect of nourishing the soul, but they weren't sword masters who cultivated special soul methods like ghost cultivators. The effect of nourishing the soul wasn't even as good as the force-nourishing pill auctioned earlier that nourished the meridians. Of course, there were also sword masters that didn't give up. No matter what, soul-nourishing wood was still a divine-rank spiritual item. Even if it were dead, they believed it still wouldn't be too inferior. It was also beneficial to trade it back and nourish their soul a bit. Maybe they could even use this soul-nourishing wood at a critical time. Most of the sword masters from large kingdoms who had metal attribute smithing material all went up to show the black-cloaked man, holding a mentality that if they could trade for it, they'd trade, if not, then not. After seeing most of them, the cloaked man shook his head one after another. None of them met his expectations. Elder Shao pondered for a while, then took out an oak-colored spar and handed it over. This is an oak crystal which was mutated from a 10,000-year oaken to give rise to the metal attribute tree spar. He didn't say much either and let the black-cloaked man judge for himself. Inwardly, he was still very interested in the dead soul-nourishing wood. After all, he was an alchemist, and the soul-nourishing wood could also nourish his mental energy. But it was a pity that he wasn't a sword master that had the metal attribute elemental energy element, so he didn't have any better materials for refining metal attribute magic tools. The cloaked man took it over and looked at it, nodded, but didn't say whether he wanted it or not, obviously still wanting to see if there was something better. How about this 10,000-year-old amber metal? The handsome man in brocade beside Mu Tong tossed an orange spar over. The man caught the orange spar and looked it over. Because of the cloak, his expression couldn't be seen. After a while, he said hoarsely, "This 10,000-year-old amber metal is indeed the best spar at present. If others don't have a better one, then I will trade it." Hearing what he said, the brocade-clothed man revealed a smile in his eyes and his body relaxed. It was obvious that the soul-nourishing wood was extremely important to him, but only Lu Mu Yen noticed this very small detail. In fact, she didn't really want to be high-profile in such a place and time, not to mention deliberately offending the leader of the elite pupils of a superpower kingdom. But there was no other way. She urgently needed the soul-nourishing wood to awaken her mental energy. Not to mention, she wasn't someone who was timid or afraid of things, so she could only be high-profile. How about my heavenly frost golden crystal? Lu Mu Yen tossed a golden spar that contained liquid inside to the cloaked man. As soon as her voice fell, the eyes of the people present all swept to the golden spar. It turned out to actually be the heavenly frost golden crystal. Come and read on our website Wuxia World site. Thanks. The cloaked man stretched out his hand and caught the spar. Under careful scrutiny, his hand was slightly trembling, and it was obvious that he was very excited. Heavenly frost golden crystal, it really was the heavenly frost golden crystal. What he had been searching for in so long had really appeared. The man held the heavenly frost golden crystal tightly. He had already prepared to exchange the soul-nourishing wood with the 10,000-year amber metal, but he didn't expect such a variable to occur. Even his heart that he had toughened through training couldn't help but tremble. If he had the heavenly frost golden crystal, then the power of that magic tool he refined would definitely be greatly increased by several times, and the grade could also reach middle-quality saint tool. I want this piece of heavenly frost golden crystal. He quickly put away the heavenly frost golden crystal in his hand, fearing that Lu Mu Yen would regret it, then tossed the profound ice jade box to her. This is the soul-nourishing wood, put it away safely. After the man stepped down from the stage, he didn't continue to return to his position, but instead walked out of the venue quickly. Several of the sword masters in the venue also got up and followed. Who knew whether they were a team or if they wanted to go kill and snatch the treasure? Lu Mu Yen happily confirmed the soul-nourishing wood in the profound ice jade box again, ignoring the sinister and ruthless gaze of the brocade-clothed man, then put it away leisurely. Her speech and calm demeanor also attracted the attention of many people present. To be able to take out the heavenly frost golden crystal to trade, this woman definitely shouldn't be as simple as she seemed. Though that's right. The woman that Luoli liked would definitely not be too inferior. That's because the heavenly frost golden crystal was also a rare spiritual item, and in fact, in comparison, it was much more valuable than a dead soul-nourishing wood. Lu Mu Yen, why do you want that dead soul-nourishing wood? Luoli was speechless at her behavior of taking out a heavenly frost golden crystal to trade for the soul-nourishing wood. If it were a live soul-nourishing wood, the heavenly frost golden crystal was indeed inferior, but a piece of dead soul-nourishing wood really wasn't worth trading for with a piece of heavenly frost golden crystal. Lu Mu Yen smiled lightly and said, only what is useful to oneself is the most valuable. Not to mention the heavenly frost golden crystal, if she had to, she would even take out the heavenly frost golden essence for this piece of soul-nourishing wood. The trade fair was still being held, but after the appearance of the soul-nourishing wood and the heavenly frost golden crystal, the other things seemed too bland, and there were no more surprises even until the end. After the end of the trade fair on stage, there was also a trade fair where one traded freely, which was convenient for those who didn't act just now to trade in private. There were also sword masters who didn't like to take things onto the stage to trade, so they could choose to negotiate quietly and privately. Alright, the trade fair is over now. Those of you who still have intentions to trade can trade privately. If sword masters have nothing else to do, then you can leave first too. Elder Shao stood up and said with a gentle smile, this old man wishes you all the best of luck to achieve a good result in the continental tournament for hegemony. After he finished speaking, he also didn't remain and walked straight in through the back door. Add the stunning woman beside Luoli to the list of priorities to pay attention to. After the door closed, Elder Shao said as he walked in an empty corridor. After his voice fell, a voice suddenly echoed in the corridor, yes. Lu Mu Yen, Luoli, and the others also didn't have anything else to trade, so they got up and prepared to leave the venue. But after only walking a few steps, a group of people blocked their way. Come true one, it's kind of word play. Spring comes to the withered tree is actually an idiom and used figuratively, meaning to have a second chance at a better life, to be reborn as a new person, in a sense. In this case, the author uses it literally to say that LMY could revive the piece of dead soul-nourishing wood. Chapter 219, threatened Lu Mu Yen furrowed her brows slightly when she saw that many sword masters blocked their way. What do you want to do? Kill and snatch treasures? Luoli glanced at the sword masters who surrounded them and narrowed his eyes dangerously. With their elite team from Rongza Kingdom, naturally no one was allowed to touch a single hair of Lu Mu Yan's. Little young Master Luo misunderstands. I only want to have a chat with this miss privately, and have no intention of killing and snatching treasures. One of the more tactful-looking men walked out and said with a smile. With you, a great deity one, here, even if we wanted to kill people and snatch treasures, we wouldn't dare. He added inwardly. Many people also agreed, indicating that they all just wanted to talk to Lu Mu Yen privately. Lu Mu Yen asked indifferently, if you have something to say, just say it. She didn't have the time and energy to talk with these people individually. She could already guess what they wanted from her. Miss, this one is very interested in the heavenly frost golden crystal you possess. I wonder if you can sell one piece to me or barter? The tactful man continued to speak with a smile. Hearing what he said, those with the same purpose came forward and expressed that they could also make an offer or trade with Lu Mu Yen for the heavenly frost golden crystal. Lu Mu Yen raised an eyebrow and looked at the tactful man, her voice cold. Aren't you looking for the wrong person? My heavenly frost golden crystal was already traded to that man in the black cloak. If you want to trade for the heavenly frost golden crystal, then you should go find him. As soon as this person opened his mouth, he said he wanted to trade for the heavenly frost golden crystal and didn't even ask if she had any. If it wasn't to test her, then his purpose was impure. The slick man froze for a moment, then seeing Luo Li's icy gaze sweep over him, he shuddered and immediately said with a smile, so Miss no longer has any more heavenly frost golden crystals. What a pity. Apologies for bothering you. He just wanted to test this girl a little, but he didn't expect her to be so smart. He sure didn't want to offend the people of the Luo clan because of this, so he was very friendly. No problem. Lu Mu Yen said indifferently, can I leave now? Of course, please. The tactful man stepped aside. Although other people pitied it, but they didn't have much suspicion. It was already a huge fortuitous encounter for this peak phase Sword King woman to obtain one piece of heavenly frost golden crystal, so she probably couldn't take out any more. They just had the attitude to try. Those who wanted to trade for the heavenly frost golden crystal all dispersed, either continuing to find others to trade privately with, or leave. When Lu Mu Yen and the others approached the gate of the venue, the brocade-robed man from the elite team of a superpower kingdom earlier walked over with his team. Miss, please wait. Lu Mu Yen had long expected that he wouldn't let her go. She looked up at him coldly and asked, need something? The brocade-clothed man didn't expect that there would be a woman who would be so indifferent even after knowing his identity. He smiled playfully and said, this one does indeed have some things I want to discuss with Mississippi. If it's about the soul-nourishing wood, Jiu, I think you shouldn't waste your time. Luo Li stepped forward and raised an eyebrow. The soul-nourishing wood won't be given to anyone. Lu Mu Yen was going to open her mouth to refuse first, but she didn't expect Luo Li to step up for her. This little cat had a very straightforward temperament, but was also very smart and alert. Ji's face darkened slightly, revealing a somewhat suspicious look. What do you want the soul-nourishing wood for? It stood to reason that a woman who depended on Luo Li shouldn't be able to take out such a spiritual item like the heavenly frost golden crystal to trade for the soul-nourishing wood. Nor would she dare play Mutong so arrogantly, unless Luo Li was the one behind instigating it. But he just felt that this stunning woman's temperament was calm and indifferent, not as simple as she seemed. Don't forget that my elder sister is an alchemist. Naturally this soul-nourishing wood is useful to her. Luo Li revealed an arrogant look. Come and read on our website Wuxia World site. Thanks. Ji's eyes were clouded with a haze. The reason why Luo Li was so arrogant wasn't only because he was a pupil valued by the largest distinguished clan of a superpower kingdom, but also because he had an elder sister who became an outer core disciple of the medicine sect. The soul-nourishing wood could nourish the soul of a sword master, and naturally could also nourish mental energy, which would certainly be of great help to alchemists. Even if this was a dead soul-nourishing wood, if it were made into jewelry and worn long-term, it would still definitely be better than the effect of the black crystal diamond Mutong won earlier. The soul-nourishing wood is useful to my master. How about you consider it a little more? I can exchange it with anything you like as long as they're things I can take out. Jiu asked Luo Li with determination. Luo Li smiled proudly. We all come from superpower kingdoms. Although you're a member of the imperial family, but our Luo clan's status in Rongza kingdom isn't inferior to that of the imperial family. The things you can take out, this young master naturally wouldn't lack. Even if this soul-nourishing wood is a dead one, it's still a rare spiritual item that's hard to come across even in tens of thousands of years. This young master would be a fool to trade it with you. Ji's killing intent flashed past in an instant, and only temporarily suppressed it when he found that a cold gaze fell on him. He knew that the gaze was Luo Yes. Right now, he didn't have any confidence to be able to retreat safely if he fought Luo Yi, so he could only temporarily tolerate Luo Li's arrogance in front of him. He smiled and said, very well. It's fine if you want trade it. But when he walked to Lu Mu Yan's side, he said, does Miss think you can enter the central area at just peak phase Sword King cultivation base? Do you think that you found a large tree to rely on by following Luo Li? If you have anything to say, just say it all at once. Lu Mu Yen looked at him emotionlessly. Jiu smiled complacently, a smile that didn't reach the bottom of his eyes and had no warmth. I hope Miss can live until the end of the preliminary competition. Are you threatening me? Lu Mu Yen sneered. Wasn't this man just trying to tell her that having provoked them, she wouldn't be able to live until the end of the preliminaries? It doesn't matter if you take it as a threat. I'm just stating a fact. Jiu smiled gently, then whispered, you'd better not leave Luo Li even half a step. After speaking, they didn't wait for Luo Li to flip out either and left. After passing by, his eyes were extremely cold. He wasn't sure if the soul-nourishing wood would really fall into Luo Li's hands in the end or not, but since that woman dared to snatch from him, then she must be prepared to die. When the points competition was in full swing, and after he left the city to hunt, he would lure Luo Li and the woman out to kill and snatch the treasure. Mu Tong followed closely behind, and when she arrived in front of Lu Mu Yen, she cast a provocative look with undisguised killing intent. I will definitely tear you into pieces during the preliminary competition. I'll be waiting. Lu Mu Yan's red lips parted lightly, and she spit out a few words with a beautiful smile. Mu Tong snorted coldly, and quickly caught up with Ji Yu, leaving the venue. Luo Li's eyes were filled with killing intent. That insidious vile person definitely wouldn't just let this go. Well, confront soldiers with generals and stem water with earth too, what's the hurry? Lu Mu Yen patted his shoulder and said, since he regards us as soft persimmons, then just wait to see how we pierce his hands. 3. She could see that many sword masters from large kingdoms didn't dare to provoke Luo Li mainly due to his background and Luo Yi behind him, but instead, ignored his talent. Luo Li could obtain the same resources in training and attention as Luo Yi from the Luo clan, meaning his talent definitely wasn't bad. He was also a male lion, but it was just because Luo Yi's light was too bright that it covered up his. She narrowed her eyes with a smile, looking forward to those people taking the initiative to come to her and Luo Li to kill and snatch treasures. 1. Basically a sarcastic or exaggerated way to address someone who's very powerful. 2 different situations call for different actions, so LMY is saying they'll deal with things appropriately when the situation arises, just doing what's necessary in the end. 3. An extended metaphor on the saying squeezing soft persimmons, aka seeing that they're weak and bullying them. In this case, Lu Mu Yen will show them how wrong they are by pricking their hands when they're attempting to squeeze them. Chapter 220. Entering the climax. After returning to the inn, Lu Mu Yen instructed Bing Ji to guard the door, then she arranged an array and began to refine grade 3 spiritual recovery pills. After refining the spiritual energy recovery pills, she began to refine several other types of grade 3 pills for emergency use. Afterwards, she took out the soul nourishing which she had obtained and stroked it with her palm. A trace of spiritual energy with green mist wrapped around the branch little by little, and the green energy continued to wound around it. She returned the soul-nourishing wood that was now enveloped in green mist back into the profound ice jade box and closed the lid for preservation. The profound ice jade box was a special container used to hold spiritual herbs and spiritual tools, allowing the spiritual energy and moisture of the spiritual herbs and spiritual tools to not be lost over time. Your green spiritual energy can nourish the soul-nourishing wood? Mo Yen asked when Lu Mu Yen finished. Using a bit of time to nourish it, spring will return to the dead soul-nourishing wood. Lu Mu Yen and Mo Yen had long been tied together, so she naturally trusted him very much. Mo Yen also didn't ask much about the green spiritual energy, we'll be going deep into the remote mountains to hunt starting tomorrow. There's only half a month left before the competition ends. In the last 10 days, we also need to prevent others from snatching our jade tablets. The competition will be reaching the climax in the next 5 days starting tomorrow. She replied. When will you be able to break through to Sword Monarch? Mo Yan's cold eyes flashed with a dim light. The leaders of the superpower kingdoms are all at peak phase Sword Monarch. In this space, there's an abundance of spiritual force, and if you're lucky, you can also meet spiritual items. It's not difficult to break through to Sword Sovereign for them. They'll be your rivals. It wasn't easy to survive in this space, not to mention Lu Mu Yen still had the desire to compete for the top 10. Towards her ambition, Mo Yen actually felt it was admirable. With that strength and potential, why not do it? I should be able to break through in the next few days. I already feel that my bottleneck has loosened. Lu Mu Yen also hoped that she could break through to Sword Monarch as soon as possible. That way, she could use more means, and even if she faced Sword Sovereign level powerhouses or demonic beasts, she would have confidence to retreat. After you break through, it'll teach you to use a secret skill. You can borrow my power when you encounter a very dangerous situation then. Mo Yen was silent for a moment, then spoke slowly. Lu Mu Yen was surprised and asked, borrow your power? Are there any disadvantages? It wasn't that the immortal cultivation world didn't have such skills that could borrow the power of spirit pets or other people, but the backlash was huge. Not to mention to themselves, but the damage to the spirit pet was also very big. There naturally will be disadvantages, but it won't backlash. One must be extremely trustworthy of each other, and only people and beasts who can hand over their lives to each other can use it. Mo Yen also didn't conceal it. Lu Mu Yan's eyes were filled with bright brilliance, and she joked, can Mo Yen give his life to me now? Naturally. Mo Yen answered affirmatively with incomparable seriousness in his eyes. Lu Mu Yen was a black-bellied and cunning woman, with a domineering attitude that looked down upon this world. She even made him, a king who once had his own territory in the demon realm, be unable to comprehend her, and even made him feel a sense of submission. It wasn't the submission towards strength, but a surrendering to her behavior, that pride and domineering, and how she defended her close ones. A willingness to always be her spirit pet and be partners with her. She treated outsiders with indifference and coldness, even cruelty, but she treated those she recognized with her heart. She was generous and protective, shared honor and disgrace, and entrusted each with her life and death. This was also her charisma. Presumably even now, Bing Ji truly recognized her as owner. Lu Mu Yen was deeply stunned, then a joyous smile from the bottom of her heart blossomed, as if enveloped by the morning light, carrying the beauty of the gleaming reflection of waves in the sunlight. In the future, my life will be entrusted to you, Mo Yen. This was what partners were, entrusting each with their lives and deaths. Mo Yen rolled his eyes at her. This woman sure knew how to say things to please him. Turning to the side, the warm color and tenderness in his eyes didn't dissipate for a long time. The next morning, Lu Mu Yen was called by Luo Li to Luo Ye's room. Come and read on our website Wuxia World site. Thanks. When she arrived, Yunzi Mo and the others, together with Helian Lai's elite team, were all sitting there. Lu Mu Yen, come and sit. Luo Li's originally indifferent face revealed a handsome, sunny smile when he saw Lu Mu Yen. He patted the empty seat beside him and said. Lu Mu Yen walked over and sat down. Is this about negotiating an alliance? Helian Lai was also sitting here today, so presumably it was to discuss the matter of forming an alliance to compete for points. Miss Lu is indeed smart. Helian Lai waved the folding fan in his hand with a complete attitude of an amorous sir. Lu Mu Yen glanced at him speechlessly and said, since we're already cooperating, then you don't need to call me Miss Lu, just call me Lu Mu Yen or Mu Yen. Hearing Miss Lu from Helian Lai's mouth just felt awkward. This guy seemed to be a flirtatious, amorous person, but she felt that this was just a way for him to hide his true colors. Sure, Mu Yen. Helian Lu wasn't quarrelsome either. If he wanted to befriend Lu Mu Yen, calling her Mu Yen felt closer. Luo Li glanced at Helian Lai with dark eyes. No matter how he looked at him, he felt that this little pretty face was an eyesore. I'll talk about the plan after the alliance first. If any of you feel that there is something wrong, you can bring it up. Luo Yi still had a noble temperament, and his voice was as clean and warm as wind. From today onwards, the sword masters of the large kingdoms who have some confidence in the preliminary round are all headed towards the central city. And starting from this city, all the demonic beasts that appear in the forests and plains that we will pass by will all be at least tier 5 or 6 everywhere. This was beneficial for killing and earning points, but it also indicated danger. But no matter how many tier 6 demonic beasts there are, it will still face the situation of having too many people but too little porridge, so the further we go into the central area, we will meet wave after wave of sword masters also traveling. Along the way, situations where those that kill each other to compete for demonic beasts will happen all the time. We will set off in a bit and we 3 teams will form an alliance. I don't want anyone to have dissent, otherwise I will be the first to not let them go. Luo Yi scanned the people present with his eyes like the brightest stars hanging in the sky, causing many sword masters to feel a chill all over their bodies. When the alliance is formed, we will be entrusting each other with our lives and deaths. After terminating it, your freedom will be restored. Luo Ye's slow voice sounded ethereal. If we form an alliance with a sincere heart, then our alliance relationship will finish in the finals, but if our cooperation isn't pleasant, then the alliance will be terminated immediately after the preliminary round. His words were deeply rooted in the hearts of the people. Since they had formed an alliance, they naturally hoped that the other parties would treat each other sincerely. All right. Everyone agreed and no one objected even deep down. Let's go then. Luo Yi stood up and led the people out of the inn. After leaving the city, Lu Mu Yen found that sword masters kept pouring out of the city, rushing towards the next large city. Along the way, they also encountered several waves of demonic beasts, but before they even warmed up, the demonic beasts were completely killed by sword masters from other kingdoms who had already formed an alliance. Lu Mu Yen took out her jade tablet for a look. The point rankings on it kept jumping around. She was pushed out of the top 40 in the morning already and was now fluctuating around 43rd. If this continued, she wouldn't even be able to advance into the top 10. She could only take a risk. I don't like getting political or anything, but I have to say here that I wish all the best for those experiencing the tragedies occurring in Ukraine and all those involved. Even the innocent Russian civilians who are protesting this war but are instead arrested. I know there are wars still ongoing elsewhere in the world that have also lasted a long time. But I want to highlight the current tragedy in Ukraine. I hope we will remain a loving community where acceptance and understanding stand strong over prejudice and hate during a time where it's so easy to vilify innocent civilians. Also, if there are any comments using humor to joke about this situation, they will be deleted. I understand humor can be a coping mechanism and I personally enjoy dark humor from time to time too. But not now. May our dreams come true. That day, the three groups that had formed an alliance didn't gain much. After entering the remote mountain, there were also many sword masters looking for demonic beasts everywhere, and the tier 6 demonic beasts that appeared nearby were practically all killed. GE's group had already set off before dawn, competing around, hunting for tier 6 demonic beasts between the two cities, and their ranks jumped quickly. When they saw that Lu Mu Yan's team's points increased very slowly, they gloatingly guessed that Luo Yi and the others were dragged down Lu Mu Yan and her team, and secretly cursed serves you right. As night fell, the sword masters flocked to the city ahead of them. This was the second largest city, closest to the central city. It had a much wider area and towering walls, and was a little more solemn than the previous city. During the day, Luo Yi and the others basically didn't do much, so they were still rather energetic. After tidying up the room, they went to a restaurant in the city for dinner together. When a sword master reached Sword King cultivation base, immediate one was possible, so eating was just a habit or to just feel the atmosphere. Because of the presence of Luo Yi's team, although it was crowded in the restaurant, but they were able to book a quiet private room. Lu Mu Yan, these special dishes of the Stream Reflection restaurant can only be eaten in the 3 big cities in the competition space. Have a try. Luo Li picked up some food and placed it in Lu Mu Yan's bowl, his eyes staring at her brightly, as if asking her for praise. Lu Mu Yan lowered her head and took a bite, smiled and said, "It does taste pretty good. This dish should be expensive, right?" "How do you know this dish is expensive?" Helian Lai asked with a smile. These special dishes of Stream Reflection restaurant weren't for sale to the public. Only those who could book a private room could order them, and it depended on luck as well as it was limited daily. Lu Mu Yan came from the small kingdom of Yenzhou, so she naturally wouldn't be able to book a private room, and it didn't look like she had eaten it either. He was very curious about how she guessed the price. These dishes are all cooked with tier 6 demonic beast meat and have added a lot of spiritual herbs and spiritual fruits for taste. After eating, not only is the taste good, but there is a heat flow with elemental energy lingering in the meridians. It's a good thing to replenish your physical strength with. Lu Mu Yan tasted a few casually and knew exactly what spiritual fruits and spiritual herbs were added to the dish, but she also noted down Stream Reflection restaurant. Back when she and the Yi clan in Luoxi City, Yi Qinghan and the others had introduced her to Stream Reflection restaurant strength, but she didn't expect it to reach this level. She put her chopsticks down and was silent for a moment. What are you thinking about? Luo Li saw that she didn't seem to be reminiscing the taste of the dishes. I suddenly remembered a few friends and I wonder how they are in this competition space. Lu Mu Yen raised her eyes and said with a light smile. Friend? Male? Luo Li blurted out. Lu Mu Yen nodded, In saying that, she realized that she didn't really know many female friends. Those she had a good relationship with was only Yi Qinglo, and she couldn't help but sigh that her relationship with women just wasn't good. Luo Li's long and narrow eyes flickered, then he changed the topic. It seems that we have to leave the city early tomorrow, otherwise the demonic beasts would all be snatched by them. You won't earn any points if you go out of the city during the day, why don't we just travel at night? Lu Mu Yen suggested enthusiastically. If they wanted to obtain, then they naturally had to pay with something. It wasn't easy to advance into the top 10. Now, in order to earn points quickly, they could only take the night road and find beast tides to kill. The night road here isn't easy to travel. Even a small beast tide is difficult to deal with, basically composed of tier 6 demonic beasts. Helian Lai also wanted to earn points, but he remained rational. It wasn't difficult for their group to deal with less than 100 tier 6 demonic beasts, but if they encountered 300 or 400 tier 6 demonic beasts, they definitely could only run for their lives. Lu Mu Yen tapped the table lightly with her finger. I have a way to deal with small and medium-sized beast tides. Large beast tides can be avoided, so it's worth taking a little risk. Helian Lai pressed his lips together tightly when he heard her say that, pondering. If he continued like this, he would fall out of the top 100 and it would become uncertain if he could enter into the next round of the competition. If it were such a risk, he could try it. He didn't make an immediate decision but looked up at Luo Yi. Luo Yi was sitting up straight. Regardless of how much he restrained his noble temperament, he couldn't conceal his magnificence. He took a sip from his teacup and said, I agree to take the risk. Come and read on our website Wuxia World site. Thanks, his current ranking was just at 15th, which was far from the target he had set. He originally planned to take the risk of finding tier 7 demonic beasts to kill and earn points once he arrived at the central area, but now with Lu Mu Yan's proposal, it should be less risky. Luo Yi's group had seen Lu Mu Yen and the several others block a beast tide with their own eyes, so they had no doubts about her words. Sure. Let's go after eating. Helian Lai's lips rose into an arc, dashing and amorous. Lu Mu Yen got up and said, I want to go to the pill stores in the city to buy some spiritual herbs. Do you want to go together, or gather at the city gate later? Let's go together. Luo Li immediately stood up. The others didn't have much interest in eating either, so they got up together to accompany her to buy spiritual herbs. After arriving at the largest pill store in the city, Lu Mu Yen used Luo Li's name and got the shopkeeper to take out all the spiritual herbs that they sold. The precious high-grade spiritual herbs in the store could only be bought by distinguished clans or people from the royal families from large kingdoms. She selected here and there, then chose 9/10 of the spiritual herbs. I want all of these. Calculate the price. The shopkeeper was startled when he saw it. He had been stationed in this pill store for 3 competitions and this was the first time he had encountered such a customer. Sure, young miss, please wait. The shopkeeper picked up the list and checked them one by one. On the way, he gave a waiter in the store an obscure look, asking him to report to Elder Shao. Lu Mu Yen, you're not sick, are you? Helian Lai was really shocked by this uninhibited behavior. This woman must have gone crazy, right? Why did she buy so many spiritual herbs? She didn't think of taking it out for resale, did she? Lu Mu Yen rolled her eyes at him. You're the one that's sick. You wouldn't be thinking to buy all these spiritual herbs then resell them outside, are you? Most of the spiritual herbs here only grew in this space, and it was hard to find them outside. In fact, some people did think about reselling it long ago, but the people in the pill stores weren't stupid either. If there was a price difference, wouldn't they make the money themselves, so how could they allow the sword masters to catch on to this loophole and make a profit? Dream on. Let me tell you, the price of the spiritual herbs here is higher than outside. If you want to resell it outside, don't waste your energy. Helian Lai reminded. Lu Mu Yen glanced at him. Do you think him that bored? She wasn't a fool. The pill tower wouldn't allow reselling to happen, and she didn't have much energy to do it either. If she were short of money, she could just sell a few pills. What's the point in reselling? It'd be a waste of time. The reason why she bought the spiritual herbs in the competition space was because she had to refine a large number of pills for the Lu clan after returning, for future use. Moreover, the variety of spiritual herbs here was complete. If she went out to buy it in a store outside, she wouldn't be able to buy it all in one place, and she might not even be able to find some spiritual herbs. Even if it were a little more expensive now, it saved time and trouble. Seeing her displeased, Helian Lai's lips twitched. If she wasn't bored to buy so many spiritual herbs, then what was it? Young miss, the total price of the spiritual herbs you want to buy has been calculated. The total is 28 million purple gold coins. The shopkeeper of the pill store handed a price list to Lu Mu Yen and said with a smile. Hearing the number, Lu Mu Yan's brows furrowed. She only had less than 1 million purple gold coins on her, not enough even for change. The more high-level the spiritual herbs were, the more expensive it was, but it wasn't a problem if she could buy it for money, so she naturally wouldn't feel distressed spending so much. Shopkeeper, I don't have so many purple gold coins with me right now. Can I exchange it with pills? Lu Mu Yen thought about it, then asked with a smile. Before the shopkeeper could even speak, there was a laugh of ridicule coming from behind. One idiot in this story is when people don't need to eat food to survive. I think I forgot to make a note the last time /s I mentioned it. It's a real thing you can search up, and it's considered a pseudoscience where people believe they don't need to eat food and water to survive. Chapter 222, He's not sick, is he? Before the shopkeeper could even speak, there was a laugh of ridicule coming from behind. It sure is the first time I've heard of anyone who dares to trade for spiritual herbs using pills at a pill shop set up under the pill tower. You're actually trying to show off skills in front of experts here at the pill tower. How courageous. Lu Mu Yen followed this unfamiliar voice and looked up, gazing over. A tall, beautiful, indistinguishably androgynous man walking in from the door of the store, but that peach-red color dressed on him looked truly gaudy. The man's voice of ridicule didn't actually sound that malicious. It only seemed to be expressing an opinion. "See Nan, you're really a dog who catches mice, meddlesome," Luo Li said impolitely when he saw the person who walked in. Lu Mu Yen looked at Luo Li in amusement. This little cat really got angry too easily. See Nan and Luo Li had always disliked each other the most. He ignored Luo Li, and instead approached and scrutinized Lu Mu Yen, then said leisurely, "First-class appearance, first-class figure, first-class temperament. It's just a pity that your cultivation base is too unqualified." After speaking, he even showed a look of pity. Most importantly, after staying with Luo Li for a long time, you've also become so naive, even wanting to use pills to exchange for spiritual herbs. A pity. Young Miss Lu, do you not know that this pill shop is the property of the pill tower? The sale of spiritual herbs is just supplementary, the important part is that they sell pills. If you don't have money to buy spiritual herbs, Luo Li this big fool does. Why play with the shopkeeper of the pill store? Si Nan looked as if he was doing this all for her, but what he said was very worth beating up for. The smile on Lu Mu Yan's face didn't change much, but there wasn't much warmth in her eyes, noisy. She seemed to understand now. This Si Nan and Luo Li didn't like each other, and he used her to suppress little cat Luo. She was also too lazy to argue with this kind of person who looked for trouble. 3 golden needles flew out of her sleeves and shot directly at Si Nan. Si Nan revealed a bit of surprise in his eyes, picked up the folding fan in his hand, channeled elemental energy and blocked it. But the 3 golden needles pierced straight through his folding fan and shot towards his neck. He didn't even have time to bring out his sword as he hurriedly resisted with his palm wind, knocking down 2 golden needles, but the other golden needle pierced right through the gap between his fingers and stabbed him right below the collarbone. His eyes widened, only to feel that his body went numb, and he lost all sensations. "What did you do to me?" he exclaimed in disbelief. The speed of this woman's golden needle was too fast, and the force was also quick, accurate and ruthless. The material used to refine the golden needles was definitely unparalleled, otherwise it would be impossible to shoot through his peak-quality spirit treasure. Most importantly, with his cultivation base, he was actually paralyzed after a single golden needle pierced him, and the elemental energy in his entire body was as if it were frozen. This was the first time he had encountered such a thing. Lu Mu Yen waved her hand and the 3 golden needles disappeared into her sleeve. The others didn't even see it clearly. "Just to shut you up." Lu Mu Yen gave him a cold look and ignored him. "Hey, did you poison me? Woman, why are you this stingy? I'm just casually talking about it, so why did you act so viciously towards me?" Lu Mu Yen furrowed her brows and considered whether to block the mouth of this gaudy person. He was even noisier than Bing Ji. She didn't realize it herself, but the act of immobilizing Si Nan shocked everyone in the store. Si Nan wasn't only the leader of an elite team of a superpower kingdom, but his cultivation base was also a peak phase sword monarch. It was simply too frightening that this woman could use a hidden weapon to immobilize him. Come and read on our website Wuxia World site. Thanks. Luoli blinked and turned around, nudging Lu Mu Yan's arm. "How did you freeze him?" This was too amazing. How did he not know that Lu Mu Yan had this sort of skill? Lu Mu Yan turned her head, smiled, and blinked. "Would you like to try it too?" Luoli shuddered and laughed dryly. "Forget it, let Si Nan, this cheap thing, enjoy himself." Si Nan's teammates were completely stunned. An alchemist quickly walked up to him to check. Lu Mu Yan turned her head and asked the shopkeeper with a smile, "Your pill store doesn't accept pills?" According to her understanding, all pill shops on Tianling continent not only sold pills, but also bought pills. The stores under the smithing pavilion also sold magic tools and bought magic tools. It was just that because the reputations of the pill tower and the smithing pavilion were so resonant, so there were basically no sword masters who would come to the pill tower or smithing pavilion to sell pills or magic tools. Therefore Lu Mu Yan's move of wanting to exchange pills for spiritual herbs would attract Si Nan's mockery. "Accept, of course we accept." The shopkeeper was stunned for a moment, then immediately returned to his senses. He was also a little cautious of this woman who seemed to have a low cultivation base. He sure didn't forget that Si Nan, whose cultivation base was at Sword Monarch, was frozen by a single needle. "I wonder what kind of pill young miss wants to use to trade." In fact, he also had no clue. When Lu Mu Yan wanted to trade pills for spiritual herbs, he also had the same thoughts as Si Nan, but he just didn't say it, that she was showing off skills in front of experts. But after what happened just now, using a single golden needle to restrain Si Nan, it showed that she hid things deeply, and probably also did that on purpose to show him and the others, using it to awe them. Now he sure wanted to see what kind of pill she could take out to exchange for those spiritual herbs. Lu Mu Yan took out 2 porcelain bottles from her interspatial ring and introduced, "There are 2 kinds of grade 3 pills here. One of them is called Elemental Nourishing Pill, which can nourish one's elemental energy and consolidate one's origins, improving one's cultivation base. Its effect is similar to the Elemental Condensing Pill of the Pill Tower. The other kind of pill is called the Spiritual Energy Recovery Pill. A sword master at Sword Monarch cultivation base can use one and it will restore at least 2/3 of their Bodis elemental energy." "What?" The shopkeeper revealed disbelief after hearing her introduction. How could that be possible? The elemental nourishing pill that had a similar effect to the elemental condensing pill was already surprising, but the effect of the spiritual energy recovery pill was simply too miraculous that he couldn't help but doubt. "Shopkeeper, if you take a closer look, wouldn't you know?" Lu Mu Yan handed the 2 porcelain bottles to the shopkeeper and said with a light smile. The shopkeeper took the bottles and opened one of them. A gentle, refreshing medicinal fragrance emanated from the bottle that filled the surroundings in just a few breaths. Its fragrance wasn't even outdone by the elemental condensing pill. With a nervous expression, he instantly closed the bottle cap and opened the other bottle. The medicinal fragrance exuded this time was clear and sweet, and just by smelling it, it made people feel that their elemental energy was being replenished. Young Miss Pills cannot be judged by this one. May I ask an appraiser of this tower to appraise it? The shopkeeper put the cap back onto the other bottle and looked at Lu Mu Yen carefully, asking. At this moment, all the doubts in the shopkeeper's heart had dissipated, and he had a little more respect for Lu Mu Yen, who was able to take out such pills. Sure, take it. Lu Mu Yen nodded, but please hurry, I have something to do tonight. Yes, please wait a moment, young Mississippi. After speaking, the shopkeeper hurried up to the second floor. And at this time, the sword masters who were buying pills and spiritual herbs from the pill tower looked at Lu Mu Yen with various gazes, completely different from the previous. Si Nan's body also recovered from paralysis at this time, and he also smelled the medicinal fragrance of the two pills. He was certain that the pill called Elemental Nourishing Pill was definitely even more effective than Peerless Quality Elemental Condensing Pills. That spiritual energy recovery pill that had never been heard of before was even more extraordinary. Moving his numb body a bit, he leaned in beside Lu Mu Yen with a gaudy smile and cupped his hands. Young Miss Lao's golden needle skill is indeed truly extraordinary, Si Nan truly admires. Lu Mu Yen took a step back and looked at Si Nan, who had approached her, with disgust, raised an eyebrow and asked Luo Li, he's not sick, is he? Chapter 223, Sinan, he's not sick, is he? When Si Nan heard Lu Mu Yen say this, he couldn't resist twitching the corners of his lips. How could he, a man with background, strength, and most importantly, was so handsome and unrestrained, be sick? Yes, he is suck, his mouth's poisonous, is narcissistic and has a mental problem. Luo Li nodded in agreement. Si Nan glared at Luo Li, who dropped stones onto someone who had fallen into a well. He just knew that every time he saw this kid, there wouldn't be anything good coming out of it. Young Miss Lu, I misunderstood you just now. I apologize. I will hold a banquet in the Stream Reflection restaurant to express my apologies to young Miss. What do you think? Si Nan's smile bloomed flowers everywhere to express friendship. Lu Mu Yen glanced at him. This man flipped faces faster than flipping books, with deep scheming, and was able to be flexible. Not interested. Lu Mu Yen refused. She didn't want to have anything to do with Si Nan at all. This guy's purpose definitely wasn't pure. Don't. Young Miss Lu, through exchanging blows, friendship grows, let's be friends. Si Nan thickened his skin and said with a smile. The corners of the lips of the team members behind him twitched. Leader's sickness acted up again. As a dignified leader of a superpower kingdom's team, why must he humbly lower himself to talk to a little girl? His bad interests were definitely showing again. Seeing that the frivolous person was getting closer again, Luo Li stood in front of Lu Mu Yen and said with furrowed brows, Si Nan, stay away from Lu Mu Yen, you stinky shameless bastard. Luo Li, your skin's itchy again after not being beaten for a few days, huh? Si Nan opened his gold foil fan that was pierced by Lu Mu Yan's golden needle and shook it. Looking at the posture of the two, they definitely fought a lot. Lu Mu Yen saw that although the two quarreled the moment they met, and even wanted to fight, but neither of them had the slightest killing intent. It seemed that they were the kind of friends who had a love-hate relationship. Luo Li rolled up his sleeves and huffed, saying, come at me. You two go fight, later you can go drink tea after leaving the competition space. Lu Mu Yen tossed out the sentence leisurely. The two froze for a moment, then each huffed coldly and no longer prepared to fight. Even if it were just sparring, it would be judged as a fight, and no matter who it was, they would be disqualified from the competition. Si Nan wanted to approach Lu Mu Yen again to chat, but was blocked by Luo Li, and Lu Mu Yen ignored him completely. Oh, the regret in his heart. In fact, he didn't have any malicious intentions towards Lu Mu Yen when he taunted her before. He just wanted to see if Luo Li really valued her as he was rumored to be. He and Luo Li's friendship began with fighting. They appeared to be attacking each other on the surface, but in private, they were actually best friends. He didn't go to the trade fair last time because he had a situation. During the day, he heard Mu Tong and Luo Qinghe say Luo Li was being played around by a woman, and tonight he happened to hear Lu Mu Yan's big talk, so he couldn't resist wanting to test. But who knew that he would kick an iron plate? This woman named Lu Mu Yan was definitely not as superficial as what Luo Qinghe and Mu Tong said. Whether it was her calm and composed temperament, or the self-confidence she unconsciously revealed, it showed that she wasn't someone mediocre. Especially after Lu Mu Yan took out the 2 kinds of pills, he even cursed Luo Qinghe and Mu Tong inwardly. Who would have thought that a pupil from the Luo clan's branch would dare to besmirch Luo Li behind his back? Luo Qinghe and Mu Tong were spreading rumors today while hunting, saying that you're enchanted by and infatuated with a woman, and that woman even self-proclaimed to be a high-level spiritual wine master, and how only a fool like you would believe it. Nan's ability to stab people definitely was top-notch. They also said that you spent a lot of money for a woman from a small kingdom, not only collecting spiritual herbs and gifting spiritual stones, but even giving her a heavenly frost golden crystal to trade for a dead soul-nourishing wood. Come and read on our website Wuxia World site. Thanks. After I heard it, I was filled with indignation, and then I heard young Miss Lu say that she wanted to use pills to exchange for spiritual herbs and couldn't help but want to test her. I was also afraid that you'd be deceived. Seeing Luo Li's grim look, Nan immediately added, and the results of the testing show that those people were absolutely slandering her, and even I almost believed it. Most of what he said was true, and he bluntly told that Lu Mu Yan he was testing, so it made people feel less disgusted. Lu Mu Yan took a few glances at Nan. This man was mean and had a black heart, but he could tell right from wrong, and he wasn't shy to admit his mistakes, which made her dislike towards him lessen a bit. Luo Qinghe, that one who lives off of one person but helps another. Wait until this little master meets him next time, he'll definitely clean the household. Luo Li had already seen Luo Qinghe's disgusting, sanctimonious, hypocritical appearance, but he didn't expect that even when the Luo clan spared his life, that person actually still dared to ruin his and Lu Mu Yan's reputation everywhere. He truly deserved to die. Killing intent flashed in Luo Ye's eyes. Luo Qinghe's ambitions not only grew too big, but he also dared to slander Luo Li. That truly violated his baseline. Lu Mu Yan, I didn't mean to tell others that you can make spiritual wine. Luo Li was afraid that Lu Mu Yan would be angered at him when she heard Nan's words. He was angrier than anyone else knowing Lu Mu Yan was being slandered by people from the Luo clan and Mu Tong. Lu Mu Yan smiled without care, no worries. I know you won't hurt me. Luo Li took the spiritual wine she gifted to Luo Ye's place that day, and then Luo Qinghe left alone. At that time, that person probably said something bad about herself before being driven away by Luo Li. I definitely won't hurt you. Luo Li's heart felt so sweet when he heard Lu Mu Yan trust him like this. Lu Mu Yan smiled. She already regarded Luo Li as that little cat she kept before, and she had an inexplicable trust in him, including him as one of her own. Nan saw that the relationship between the two didn't seem to be fake, and he could see that Luo Li was really interested in Lu Mu Yan, but the gaze that Lu Mu Yan looked at Luo Li with didn't have any love, only pampering. At this time, the shopkeeper hurriedly walked down from the 2nd floor and said to Lu Mu Yan with a smile, "Young miss, the elder of the Pill Tower invites you for a discussion on the 2nd floor." Lu Mu Yan nodded. Trouble you to lead the way. Seeing Luo Li and the others following, the shopkeeper didn't stop them either. Even Lu Mu Yan wasn't afraid to expose herself. Naturally he wouldn't be a bad person. Nan had a tendency to like joining the fun to begin with, so he raised his foot and followed. Seeing this, the other sword masters were itching as well, but they didn't dare follow. Luo Li and Nan were termed the little overlords and rogues of superpower kingdoms. They definitely wouldn't be able to walk away safely if they provoked them. Lu Mu Yan didn't mind revealing her identity as an alchemist. Ever since knowing that there were people from the 6 major sects and other major forces paying attention to this space, she no longer kept a low profile. This was a way to increase her bargaining chips. After arriving on the 2nd floor, the shopkeeper led them into the innermost room. In the room, sandalwood burned with wisps of smoke and a refreshing scent lingered. Sitting inside was an elegant, elderly man, precisely Elder Shao, who appeared at the trade fair before. "Young Miss Lu, we meet again." Elder Shao slowly opened his eyes and a gleam of sharp light quickly flashed across his eyes. In front of him were two white porcelain bottles, precisely Lu Muyan's pills. Lu Muyan smiled lightly and said, "Greetings, Elder Shao." "Young miss, please sit." Elder Shao nodded kindly towards her. Then he turned his attention to Luo Li and the others. "I have something to discuss with young Miss Lu. If you need to do anything, then you can leave first." Inside and out, the meaning of his words was obvious: to kick them out. But there were just some people who pretended not to understand. Si Nan sat right beside Elder Shao and said with a silly smile, "We're not busy." Come true. "We're not busy." Si Nan's face skin one had long become impenetrable. He sat down, full of smiles, with a look as if saying, "I want leave." Seeing that he wasn't leaving, Luo Li glared at him and also sat down beside Lu Muyan impolitely. "We're also not busy." There was only one table with 5 chairs in total. At this time, 3 of them had been occupied. Although Helian Lai's face skin wasn't as thick as Si Nan's, but wasn't much thinner either, so he also sat his bottom on one. Seeing this, Elder Shao instructed the shopkeeper in amusement, "Let someone bring some more chairs in." With these 3 thick-skinned people staying, he naturally couldn't favor one and discriminate against the others. Since they wanted to stay, then they should all remain. Either way, Lu Muyan didn't even care, so it could be considered a favor done at little to no cost. "Elder Shao, can my pills be exchanged for those spiritual herbs?" Lu Muyan didn't go around in circles with him either. They still had to travel at night. Elder Shao smiled meaningfully and asked, "Can this old man ask how you obtained these pills, young Miss Lu?" When Lu Muyan took out the grade 3 pills at the trade fair that day, he could smell the pure scent of pills, but he didn't think she refined it herself. "It was given to me by my master." Lu Muyan smiled lightly. Her current cultivation base was too low, and no one would believe that she refined these pills herself. It was better to continue to use a tiger's skin to be her banner too, so that these old foxes could be cautious and fearful. Elder Shao was stunned for a moment, then said with a gentle smile, "I wonder who might be young Miss Lau's master?" There are not many alchemists on the entire Tianling continent who could make such high-grade pills. The pills that Lu Muyan took out were all top-quality grade 3 pills, and the pill fragrance lasted for a very long time. Even compared to grade 3 pills refined by grade 4 alchemists from the pill tower, her master's technique was much more skilled and experienced, so he truly wanted to befriend him. "Apologies, without the permission of master, I dare not reveal his identity." Lu Muyan didn't report the name of old man Tian Xian this time. Elder Shao revealed some regret but also understood that some high-level alchemists like to keep a low profile. Since that is so, this old man will not force it. "Are you buying these spiritual herbs for your master?" Judging from the information he had collected recently, Lu Muyan would sweep away all the spiritual herbs in pill shops each time she arrived at a city in the competition space. Apart from this reason, he couldn't figure out why she bought so many spiritual herbs. "Yes. When I entered the competition space, master asked me to buy a lot of spiritual herbs from the pill shop." Lu Muyan revealed a little shyness. "I didn't take the purple crystal card master gave me." Who knew that the spiritual herbs would be this expensive? "As my pockets are shy 3, I could only exchange using pills." When Luo Li and the others heard her reveal such an expression, they couldn't resist holding their foreheads. This girl's acting skills sure were top-notch. "The value of your 2 pills has already exceeded the price of the list of spiritual herbs you requested before. I will ask the shopkeeper to add an extra 3/10 of spiritual herbs for it to be of equal value." Elder Shao wasn't one to take advantage of the younger generation. The pills that Lu Muyan took out were indeed very valuable, especially that spiritual energy recovery pill. According to his experience, after taking it, it could indeed achieve the effect she said. Then many thanks to Elder Xiao. Lu Muyen smiled humbly. I wonder if you still have any more of these two types of pills to sell or exchange for spiritual herbs? I can transfer the spiritual herbs from the central city over for you to buy. He wanted to bring the pills back to the pill tower for research, so one was simple too few. Lu Muyan's eyes curved into crescent shapes as she smiled, sure. I just don't know whether the spiritual herbs in the central city are the same as here or not. Elder Xiao wanted more pills, then she would just give some more. She wasn't worried that they would use it to research the composition of spiritual herbs in the pills at all. If she didn't even have that much confidence, then she wouldn't need to continue to roam the alchemist community. The purchase of a large number of spiritual herbs in the central city was bound to attract more people's attention. Now that Elder Xiao himself brought it up, why shouldn't she take it? This is a list of all the spiritual herbs sold by the pill tower in the competition space. See if there are any you want to trade for. Elder Xiao took out a jade slip and handed it to Lu Muyen. Lu Muyen took the jade slip and checked it, finding that there were many high-level spiritual herbs on the list. Not only were the prices extremely high, but one needed a certain identity to be able to buy it in limited quantities. Can I trade for the limited spiritual herbs too? Lu Muyen blinked and asked with a smile. Come and read on our website Wuxia World site. Thanks. Since Elder Xiao wanted to give her preferential treatment, he naturally wouldn't object, yes. Lu Muyen waited precisely for this answer. After she crossed out several kinds of spiritual herbs that were of little use to her, she said, aside from the spiritual herbs I crossed out, I want them all. Elder Xiao took a look and his eyelids jumped instantly. This girl sure spent so much money. But he did have such authority. Although it's a little troublesome, but I can gather it. You can trade when you get to the central area. Elder Xiao said. Then how many pills do I need to exchange for it? Lu Muyen asked. Elder Xiao stroked the porcelain bottle on the table, thought about it, then said, 6 spiritual energy recovery pills, 3 elemental nourishing pills. I originally planned to keep some spares, but now we'll just have to lose money for the sake of master. Lu Muyen agreed with gritted teeth, with an expression as if her flesh hurt. The transaction number Elder Xiao proposed was very reasonable and he didn't deceive her, which also made her impression of the pill tower a little better. I'll give these 6 spiritual energy recovery pills and 3 elemental nourishing pills to Elder Xiao first. Then I'll go to the pill shop in the central city to pick up the spiritual herbs. Lu Muyen took out several bottles of pills very generously. Elder Xiao said with a smile on his face, little girl sure is resolute. Aren't you afraid that this old one will fool you and act as if such a thing didn't happen? Elder Xiao seems to have a sense of righteousness, so you naturally won't act as if this didn't happen or breach our promise. I believe in my own judgment. Lu Muyan's eyes were clear, and she smiled naturally, appearing as if the words came from her heart without the slightest falsehood. Elder Xiao was taken aback for a moment, then he laughed happily. You're a rather lovable little girl. He had been paying attention to this little girl Lu Muyen since the first time he saw her. She handled affairs without fear, treated anyone neither humbly or haughtily, and her indifferent, otherworldly temperament made people unable to resist feeling good about her. In addition, she had a very light medicinal fragrance, so she must be an alchemist, which also had Elder Xiao feel a kind of closeness, as if a senior watching a junior. Hearing Elder Xiao's address of her change from young Miss Lu to little girl, the expressions on the people present varied. Elder Xiao was notoriously difficult to approach, yet who knew that Lu Muyen obtained his favor at first glance for? I'll give this pill tower token to you. When you get to the central city, take it to the pill shop and there will naturally be someone who will send you the spiritual herbs you want. Elder Xiao tossed over a palm-sized cyan token to Lu Muyen, in a good mood. Lu Muyen received the token and took a look at it. There was a complicated pattern engraved on the token, and within the pattern was the word pill. Seeing Elder Xiao take out this cyan token, Si Nan and Helian Lai couldn't resist revealing shock and envy in their eyes. Then I won't be polite. My gratitude, Elder Xiao. Although Lu Muyen didn't know what the token could be used for, but she knew it was a good thing seeing the expressions of Si Nan and the others. Seeing her accept it without being quarrelsome and without pretense, her beautiful pair of eyes narrowed in a smile, like a little fox that had successfully cheated someone of something. Elder Xiao's like for her increased. Luo Li and the others were also dazzled by her lively smile. Come true one. So, in case people didn't know, wanting face or having no face etc., figuratively means being shameless. In this case, it's common play on those words meaning that his face skin is so thick he doesn't care and won't feel shameful or embarrassed by his actions. 2 figuratively means to scare the opponent by intimidation / make others think she's mighty by using something that looks mighty. 3 pockets being shy means she doesn't have money / enough money. For not the easiest to translate. It's used to mean that one person might like the other person from the very first glance. I guess I could translate it to fated at first glance, but it sounds a bit too romantic if I translated it like that. The Chinese is, Yen Yuan. Means is fate. Chapter 225. The time to earn points has come. After leaving the pill shop, Si Nan followed the people along the way with his thick skin and unreasonable manner. No matter how much Luo Li provoked him, he wouldn't leave. Luo Li, what's the use of the pill tower token that Elder Xiao gave me just now? Lu Mu Yen asked Luo Li beside him. Luo Li pushed aside Si Nan who was about to come over and said, the pill tower token is a good thing. Using it, you can go to all the pill tower properties to buy things, not only giving you discounts, but you can also buy pills or spiritual herbs that require a certain identity and are on limited sale. Aside from that, there's no other uses? Lu Mu Yen just felt that the cyan token wasn't that simple. Everyone who held the pill tower token can enjoy the treatment of distinguished guests. As for how they can enjoy it, I don't know. Luo Li shrugged. It's very rare for the pill tower to issue a pill tower token, and only those elders who hold real power are qualified to gift one. But it's said that those who obtained one have either the status or the strength and were very powerful. Sounds very similar to the Ming Alliance token. Lu Mu Yen remembered that she still had the Ming Alliance token lying in her interspatial ring and wondered how Ming Xiu, that guy, was doing now. Helian Lai said in surprise, you don't know about the pill tower token, but you know of the Ming Alliance token? Is that weird? Lu Mu Yen asked. Helian Lai said, the Ming Alliance token is even more useful than the pill tower token, and the amount given out were even less. There are only 2 powerhouses in our Dongshuan kingdom that have a Ming Alliance token. The Pill Tower has the Pill Tower token, the Ming Chamber of Commerce Alliance has the Ming Alliance token, then does the Smithing Pavilion have some sort of token? Lu Mu Yen asked with a light smile. Si Nan pushed away Helian Lai's handsome face, revealing a brilliant smile. I know this. The Smithing Pavilion naturally has their Fire Pavilion token. Lu Mu Yen nodded lightly, wondering when she should go get a Fire Pavilion token to play with. Seeing that Lu Mu Yen didn't give him any nice looks, he touched his nose, looking helpless. Wasn't it all because he was tricked by Luo Qinghe and the others? The several people quickly walked out of the city and rushed towards the closest largest city to the central area. Are you going to travel at night? Si Nan followed and asked in surprise when he found that the 3 groups of people were traveling at a very fast speed after they left the city. Luo Li rolled his eyes at him. Otherwise? We won't be entertaining you since we have to hurry. You should go back to the city. You 3 teams have made an alliance? Si Nan looked at him and asked. As long as your eyes aren't blind, you can see it. Luo Li snorted coldly. Si Nan's long and narrow eyes were filled with brilliance, and he said with a smile, add our group to it. You didn't go find Mo Ling and Yen Jun for an alliance? Luo Li raised an eyebrow and asked. Mo Ling is too cold and boring. Yen Jun disappeared for no apparent reason 5 days ago and who knows what he went to do. Si Nan thickened his skin and rubbed against Luo Li's side, saying, so I can only rely on you, buddy. Don't talk nonsense, you stinky shameless bastard. Who's your buddy? Luo Li took a few steps away from him with a look of disgust. Alright, I'm serious. Let me join your alliance too. Si Nan was looking at Luo Yi when he said this. Luo Yi's clear voice echoed in the night, very pleasant, I don't care. Si Nan immediately turned his gaze to Lu Mu Yen, young Miss Lu, what do you think? I don't care either. Lu Mu Yen glanced at him and replied coldly. Si Nan discovered that his masculine charm actually didn't have any advantage in front of Lu Mu Yen, but don't care meant that it was a yes, then we're allies from now on. Si Nan, have you asked my opinion? Helian Lai played with the folding fan in his hand, then glanced at the gold foil fan in Si Nan's hands and pursed his lips. This man really was gaudy. Si Nan raised an eyebrow. They all agreed, your opinion isn't important. Humph, Luo Li is right, you're very dislikable. Helian Lai snorted coldly. Come and read on our website Wuxia World site. Thanks. Then Luo Li also joined in the cursing battle against Si Nan, and the three of them ridiculed back and forth very cheerfully. Lu Mu Yen smiled speechlessly. The friendship between these three was really very weird. There's a medium beast tide gathering 2 kilometers ahead. Mo Yan's voice echoed in Lu Mu Yan's ears. Lu Mu Yan's eyes lit up and she said to everyone, there's a medium-sized beast tide 2 kilometers ahead, the time to earn points has come. After she finished speaking, she tapped her toes and disappeared from their field of vision as a stream of light in the dark night. Yunzi Mo and the others didn't hesitate either and accelerated towards the direction of her disappearance. Seeing Luo Li and the others also speeding up, Si Nan was taken aback. What did she mean by there's a medium-sized beast tide ahead, and that the time to earn points has come? It wasn't how he thought it was it? Of course it's that we'll be going to kill the beasts in the beast tides and earn points, idiot. Luo Li rolled his eyes at him, then ignored him as he and Luo Yi and the others also disappeared in a flash. Taking the initiative to find a beast tide to kill? Have they all gone crazy? Si Nan turned to look at Helian Lai, who was prepared to catch up to them. Helian Lai curled his lips. I also think they're crazy, but it's very exciting. Maybe you'll start liking it too. After answering, without waiting for Si Nan's reaction, he took the elite team of Dongshuan Kingdom and also rushed forward. They're completely influenced by that woman named Lu Mu Yen. They even thought of something as crazy as this. A team member behind Si Nan said. Another furrowed their brows and asked, then should we follow? Si Nan's eyes were as deep as the sea and his face revealed a rare look of seriousness. After pondering, he waved his hand and said, follow. Why shouldn't we follow? Even Helian Lai, with his crafty personality, can't wait to chase after them. It definitely must be profitable. The several other people thought that it was the case too. It was understandable if Luo Li was enchanted by a beauty and lost his reason, but Luo Yi and Helian Lai couldn't both be hot-headed. So the team quickly followed as well. Roar roar. It was just that as soon as they approached the beast tide, Si Nan's group was completely stunned by the sight in front of them. Ahead, countless walls of fire rose into the sky, dividing the gathered demonic beasts into more than a dozen small waves, and a small black flag constantly shook in the sky above. Luo Yi and the others, at this time, were within the separated fire walls, killing the demonic beasts that had been separated into smaller waves. Even that unremarkable team of Lu Mu Yans killed demonic beasts without ambiguity or hesitation. Each strike was pretty much quick, accurate, ruthless, specifically targeting the weak points of demonic beasts. Even at first glance, they basically looked like experienced hunters. They definitely had done this sort of thing more than once. The most blinding thing was that Lu Mu Yen controlled the array while also controlling 10 golden flying swords to shuttle among the tier 6 demonic beasts. Each strike of the sword took a life. Either that, or she directly blasted them with her fist, bombarding a demonic beast whose cultivation base was even higher than her to death in only a few punches. The woman had beauty that could cause the downfall of a kingdom, while her figure was like a ghost. The light purple clothes set her off as noble and mysterious, as if an Azura one from hell, with a devilish beauty beneath the firelight at night. Fuck, was this still a woman? A team member behind Si Nan was tongue-tied in amazement when he saw that Lu Mu Yen could kill a tier 6 demonic beast in close quarters combat. How domineering. One of the men sighed with various emotions. When Luoli saw that Si Nan's group had arrived but just watched Lu Mu Yen and didn't help, his face darkened as he roared, Si Nan, what are you looking at, you damned shameless bastard? Hurry up and come help. Only then did Si Nan and the others return to their senses, and they rushed into the battle circle to join in the slaughter of the demonic beasts. Because the 4 teams were all very powerful, it only took 4 hours to harvest this medium-sized beast tide wave. Under Mo Yan's probing, they killed 3 small beast tides that night and their points skyrocketed, attracting the attention of many forces. 1 Malevolent beings in Hindu mythology apparently. Chapter 226. All of them sure were arrogant. Only when the sky had brightened, did the 4 teams of talents drag their weary bodies to the largest refuge city in the competition space besides the central city. On the city tower, Jiu looked at the 20 or so people who had just entered the city. Their points are growing so fast, could it be that they're traveling at night? Mu Tong stared at Lu Mu Yen with a grim expression. This woman really was a vixen. Not only did she seduce the 2 Luo brothers, but even Helian Lai and Si Nan's attitude towards her was very different. Jiu took out the dark purple jade tablet and glanced at it. The point rankings of those people had risen a lot. Luo Li and Lu Mu Yen, who had already dropped out of the top 40, were now back at 30-something in just one night. Seeing how tired they are, it should have been a night of bloody battles. Let's go out of the city to ambush and hunt. We can't let them surpass our points. Jiu put away the jade tablet and leapt off the city wall. The rest of their group also leapt down and rushed towards a remote mountain in the distance. As soon as Lu Mu Yen and her party entered the city, they gained the attention of many forces. They ignored it, however, and went to Rongza Kingdom's small courtyard at an inn and began to recover. When night fell, the doors in the small courtyard opened one after another, and the 4 teams of people went out to hunt together. Mo Ling stood at a high place, prideful, aloof, and cool. He watched Luo Yi and his party leave, and there was a strange color in his calm eyes. Young Lord, Luo Yi, and the others seemed to have changed their hunting time tonight. A man behind him said. After a while, Mo Ling said, let's observe another day. Yes. Lu Mu Yen and the others didn't rush towards the last target, the central city. The demonic beasts near there were generally tier 7 demonic beasts. If they weren't careful, they might accidentally provoke a tier 7 small beast tide, which would be troublesome. The central city generally gathered crowds in the last 10 days. By then, the competition for points would have become subsidiary and everyone's purpose would be to compete for the identity jade tablets. That night, their harvest wasn't too big, and they only intercepted 4 waves of small beast tides. When dawn arrived and they returned to the city, the number of spies gradually increased outside the inn where they stayed at. Let's rest during the day today and well follow to see what tricks they're playing tonight. Jiu looked at the names that changed ranks last night on his jade tablet and his eyes sank. If they went on like this, they wouldn't be able to keep their top 10 rankings. Mu Tong had long wanted to kill Lu Mu Yen in the wild, and there was a cruel look on her beautiful face. Tonight, I will definitely tear that vixen into tens of thousands of pieces. Jiu furrowed his brows slightly as he looked at her, and the image of that white-clothed, cold and prideful woman, with elegance and intellectual brilliance, appeared in his mind. He sighed and clenched his hands. Power, benefits, and strength were more important. When Lu Mu Yen and the others set out from the city at night, there were actually more than a dozen groups of people secretly following behind. They're following us, how about we kill them all? Si Nan's androgynous handsome face revealed a wicked smile and even made a gesture of slicing his neck with his hands. Luo Li rolled his eyes at him. Jiu and Mo Ling's elite team are also following. You go up first and kill those 2, then well clean up the rest. Jiu can't beat me, but Mo Ling is a bit tricky. I'm afraid that only Lord Luo could handle him. Si Nan analyzed it seriously. Luo Yi didn't pay any attention to him at all. If Mo Ling was so easy to kill, he wouldn't have fought to fame in only one battle when he was young. You really are sick. They're probably just following to see how we hunt demonic beasts at night. It's not like they're sneak attacking, so it's not justifiable for us to take the initiative to kill them. And if we can't kill them, then we'd be making a few big enemies. Luo Li glanced suspiciously at Si Nan. You damned shameless bastard's heart is impure. Are you trying to kill Mo Ling by borrowing my elder brother's hand? Si Nan rolled his eyes. He was just making a random suggestion. How did it become his heart being impure? Come and read on our website Wuxia World site. Thanks, that's right, who asked Mo Ling to have violated him before. Remembering the last time he fought against Mo Ling and was injured by him, he felt a surge of anger. One day he would definitely find a way to regain his stage from that cold-faced ghost. Pfft. If Mo Ling heard what you said just now, he would definitely make you die miserably. Luo Li sneered. Si Nan, this damned shameless bastard's brain was definitely ill. There's a medium-sized beast tied to the east, but this time, there are 2 Tier 7 demonic beast leaders. Lu Mu Yen looked into the distance and explained the situation that Mo Yan's demonic sense gathered. Luo Yi pinched his fingers to calculate, we can go. Si Nan, it's time to put you to use. Luo Li put his hand on Si Nan's shoulder as if they were good buddies. He should just let this damned shameless bastard to deal with the Tier 7 demonic beasts. Si Nan raised his chin arrogantly, this master will be afraid? Seeing that the two were still joking around at such a critical moment, Helian Lai immediately interrupted, stop joking around and let's talk business. Are we still using the previous strategy with so many people following? Seeing everyone looking at him, he immediately asked. Lu Mu Yen swept her rear casually, then shrugged indifferently, of course. Otherwise, how can we earn points? If those people follow and they decide not to kill, then their points would definitely fall again. We rest during the day and act at night, and our points are increasing so fast, so it's normal to be targeted. Luo Yi took the first step ahead, let's go. Although Helian Lai and the others were a little worried about the dozen or so teams behind, but right now, this was the only way to increase their points. At least it was better than going to the central city to specifically kill those Tier 7 transformation stage demonic beasts to earn points like those abnormal monster cultivators of previous tournaments. Follow. Seeing Luo Yi and the others speed up, Jiu and the more than a dozen elite teams couldn't resist and followed them. Roar roar. The roars of countless high-level demonic beasts resounded throughout the canyon, as if they had long been prepared for battle. Be careful tonight. The 2 Tier 7 demonic beasts seemed to have come prepared. Mo Yan's eyes were indifferent. The 2 transformation stage demonic beasts were just like ants to him. Lu Mu Yen looked at him with a smile and telepathically said, how about you go display your power and prestige a bit? Not interested. Unless it's a matter of life and death, otherwise I definitely won't act. Mo Yen closed his eyes and rested. Bing Ji pouted, cursing inwardly, what are you acting so proud for? You're speaking as if you can easily strangle a Tier 7 demon cultivator. Owner, how about you undo my seal today and let me display my power and prestige? Bing Ji rubbed against her decisively. Little Owner's accomplishments in the path of the array were so profound, he believed that she definitely was able to lift Ming Xiu's seal. Go look for Ming Xiu to lift it. Lu Mu Yen was too lazy to pay attention to him. Although Ming Xiu did tell her how to break the seal before he left, but she wasn't going to let this stinky bird transform. His cultivation base was suppressed to Tier 6 right now, but he still thought about going out and jumping around all day. If he recovered the strength of a Tier 8, then it wasn't certain what sort of trouble he would cause. Bing Ji instantly looked like a defeated rooster. It seems that I can't display my power and prestige and be arrogant tonight. Otherwise just watch how I kill those 2 Tier 7 little vermin. He didn't telepathically say those words, but instead directly said them aloud, which instantly caused Si Nan and the others to roll their eyes. It really was with what kind of owner, there would be what kind of spirit pet, all of them sure were arrogant. Chapter 227, The Beauty is Fierce. Not long after, when they arrived at the canyon, they saw the densely packed, very orderly demonic beasts gathering in front of them. Still the old rule, they'll use an array to separate the beast tide, and you all kill quickly. Lu Mu Yen looked at the two human-like figures up in the air in the distance. Luo Yi, we might need to rely on you to restrain the Tier 7 demonic beasts. Luo Yi's eyes were clear and clean, nodding lightly. Sinan swept the sky in the distance and said lazily, I can restrain one. He left a bad impression on Lu Mu Yen and the others before, so it was even more imperative to reverse his image. He may not be able to kill the Tier 7 demon cultivator perfectly, but he can still stall it or defeat it. Alright, you can both go greet them when they initiate the attack. Lu Mu Yen knew that for Sinan to be able to become the leader of an elite superpower kingdom team, then his strength naturally wouldn't be weak. More than a dozen teams behind them also arrived at this time, and when they saw the densely packed Tier 6 demonic beasts in front of them, they couldn't help but feel a little numb in their scalps. It would be fine for each person to take on a few of those beasts, but if they were surrounded by a large group, then they would be in danger. Many people wanted to retreat. Mu Tong's eyes revealed surprise and fear, then she pulled Ji Ye's clothes. How about we go back to the city first? There are so many Tier 6 demonic beasts gathered here, those that enter might have difficulty escaping. Ji pulled his sleeves out of her hands, his voice cold. The woman named Lu Mu Yen is only at peak phase Sword King cultivation base, but she's not afraid. What are you afraid of? Mu Tong clenched her fists. She gritted her teeth and stood beside Ji Yu. Watching the four groups of people not far away, she didn't believe that Vixen wouldn't be afraid. In a bit, Luo Li and the others would probably have to find time to protect her. She would definitely drag them down. Then let's see how she won't be afraid. Ji Yu stopped talking and looked straight ahead. If Luo Yi and the others were trapped deeply in the beast tide, with how himself and the others were positioned, they could still retreat in time. Mo Ling folded his arms and leaned against a big tree. The coldness of his body combined with the night wind that blew slowly made him look extremely desolate. Have Luo Yi and the others gone crazy? A team member behind him asked in confusion when he saw that Luo Yi and the others not only did not retreat, but instead leapt towards the beast tide. Mo Ling furrowed his brows slightly. They're not fools. Keep watching. He didn't believe that Luo Yi and the others would use their lives for a joke. As soon as Lu Mu Yen approached the group of beasts, she tapped her toes and leapt up into the sky, tossing jade stones, that she had long nourished well, used for arranging arrays one by one towards 14 different locations. The demonic beasts here didn't just have a lot of abilities but were also very strong. If she only used one 7-star array, then she was afraid that the beast tide would destroy the defense, so she arranged a chain of 7-star fire arrays. 14 stones entered the ground instantly and traces of spiritual force wound around them and moved. She stretched out her hand and an array flag fell over the array. The black flag slowly unfolded like a picture scroll. She utilized flash steps and continuously shuttled through the Tier 6 demonic beasts, forming seals and arranging the array, her figure ghostly, flexible and free, as if she had reached a realm of being non-existent. What's going on? What's she going to do? Someone behind Mo Ling said in surprise, this woman's so agile. Mo Ling remembered the beast-killing trapping array method that night and his cold eyes brightened slightly. Watching Lu Mu Yen arrange the array, she will use an array to aid the battle. Use an array to aid the battle? Is it useful against so many demonic beasts? A member of the team at the back had uncertainty and suspicion in his tone. Well, no, if we keep watching. Come and read on our website Wuxia World site. Thanks. Mu Tong saw Lu Mu Yan's agile movements, maneuvering back and forth within the demonic beasts, completely unafraid, and her face was terrifyingly grim. She simply couldn't believe it. Is she seeking death? This woman isn't simple. Unlike Mu Tong, who resented Lu Mu Yen a lot, from Ji Ye's point of view, to be able to maneuver through the beasts as if non-existent and still survive safely was something that even he couldn't do. Her footwork should be a high-level method. Seeing Lu Mu Yen so arrogantly moving within the group, she suddenly felt a sense of powerlessness. It would probably be difficult for her to kill her today, so she had to borrow Ji Ye's power. Sure enough, after hearing her words, Ji Ye's deep eyes moved. After Lu Mu Yen arranged the array, she snapped her fingers and transparent jade balls rose from her fingertips into the air one by one, echoing with the array. And after she withdrew from the beast group, the gathering demonic beasts all rioted. This human woman was practically challenging their dignity. Roar, roar. The numerous beast roars were deafening, and the demonic beasts looked at Lu Mu Yen with fierce eyes. They clawed the ground and rushed in her direction. Rise! Lu Mu Yan's eyes narrowed and shouted coldly. Pu. At the fall of her words, countless walls of flames surged up from the ground, separating the advancing group of beasts. She stood on top of a golden longsword in midair and formed a few Taoist seals, appearing in the air. 7-star fire array, bind. Immediately afterwards, one saw the walls of fire tumble apart, forming 4 walls after 4 walls, separating the demonic beasts in the group, and each 4-sided wall would surround less than 20 tier 6 demonic beasts. She stepped lightly and the golden sword beneath her feet shone brightly, then she rushed into the fire array with a shoo. The golden longsword instantly divided into 10 flying swords and slashed towards the surrounding demonic beasts. The flying swords were like fish in water, and the fire array was just like the pond for raising fish. The two cooperated to harvest the lives of more than a dozen tier 6 demonic beasts in only a short amount of time. As long as the flying sword targeted one, each sword would stab into their vital points. Lu Mu Yan's flying swords were as if it had their own self-consciousness, automatically attacking demonic beasts, while she, herself, was filled with fighting spirit. Her slender jade hands were enveloped in a layer of a light, glass-like red color, and she flew up, brandishing her fists, taking the initiative to greet each ferocious, robust demonic beast. My heavens! My eyes aren't blurry, are they? Someone from the dozen or so teams that followed exclaimed, "This woman is so fierce." Watching the demonic beasts fall to the ground one after another under her fist, many people wouldn't help feeling numb at their scalps. Was this still a woman? If someone became her husband in the future, would he be beaten to death with a fist if she became unhappy? Many people stared, dumbfounded, at the purple-clothed, otherworldly woman who looked like a deity of war. And yet, such a violent battle didn't seem at all vulgar or contemptuous, and instead, it was pleasing to watch her figure disappear and appear ceaselessly. I finally know why Luoli fell in love with this small kingdom girl. She really was charming. A strong and sturdy man behind Mo Ling swallowed. What a hot beauty. I wonder who's lucky enough to bear her. A thin-looking man beside him shuddered. I feel more sympathetic to Luoli now. The beauty is fierce. Many people on the field knew that Luoli had a crush on a small kingdom woman, and now seeing Lu Mu Yan's valiant style, many people cast sympathetic gazes to him. Luoli, is that woman in the array really Lu Mu Yan? Si Nan rubbed his eyes, afraid that his vision was blurry. Luoli looked as if he regarded it as his honor. Naturally she's Lu Mu Yan. If you like those delicate women, then you can choose not to look. I've seen too many delicate women that I already don't feel anything anymore. Seems like a valiant and violent beauty like Lu Mu Yan has more taste. I like it. Si Nan's eyes revealed some fiery desire. Only conquering such a hot and violent beauty was interesting and challenging. Seeing Si Nan look at Lu Mu Yan with incomparably fiery eyes, Luoli's face darkened instantly. He said grimly, "You'd better restrain yourself from your little ideas. She's not interested in a gaudy pretty face like you at all." How do you know she's not interested? You aren't able to eat the meat yourself and you want us to be vegetarians as well one? Si Nan pursed his lips. Fair competition. Fair competition? You damn shameless bastard, get lost. Luoli pushed Si Nan away with a dark face, snorted coldly and jumped into the fire array, beginning to kill demonic beasts. He couldn't give the shameless Si Nan a chance to approach Lu Mu Yan. Si Nan raised an eyebrow. He's a bit too jealous. But naturally I won't give up something I'm interested in so easily. There was a bewitching smile on his handsome face. He was still rather confident in his own face. Seeing that Luo Yi had also joined the killing in the fire array, and the two transformation stage demon cultivators in the distance didn't act, he also jumped into the fire array without hesitation. Whoever didn't try to earn these points were fools. There were many people who thought like Si Nan. Having such a fire array was truly a good opportunity to earn points. No wonder Luo Yi and the others dared to hunt at night. So it turned out that there was the fire array arranged by Lu Muyen. Young lord, should we go up? The team members behind Mo Ling were eager to act. Mo Ling narrowed his eyes and nodded, let's go. The beast tide was still gathering, and with only Luo Yi and the others, they might not be able to kill them all. Since they chanced upon it, then it wasn't a big issue if they went up to have a share of porridge. He would just give some compensation to that woman named Lu Muyen in the future. Her talent and attainments in the path of the array shocked him very much, and he also had the heart to befriend her. Obtaining a nod from Mo Ling, the several people quickly rushed into the fire array to kill the demonic beasts. Seeing that Lu Muyen's combat power was so powerful, Mu Tong's face was grim, and she even trembled slightly. This woman actually had such profound knowledge in arrays. How was that possible? In addition to awe, Ji's gaze towards Lu Muyen was also mixed with some complexity. To be able to use an array of such level, the background of this woman definitely wasn't simple, or there was someone behind her. Crown Prince, let's go too. Seeing that Mo Ling's people had already jumped into the fire array, the team members behind Jiyu couldn't hold back any longer. Jiyu closed his eyes, then opened them and waved his hands, go. Seeing that Jiyu and the others also joined the battle circle in the fire array, Mu Tong stomped her foot and followed. More than a dozen other groups of people also jumped into the fire array to earn points. What made them delighted was that when they entered the fire array, they discovered that those demonic beasts were obviously suppressed by the heat and energy of the fire array. The actual combat power they could exert was significantly reduced. No wonder Luo Li and the others were able to kill so heartily. Lu Muyen pondered while sieging and killing. When she saw Mu Tong's group of people killing happily in her array, she narrowed her eyes dangerously and her lips revealed a ridicule. With a thought, the jade stones buried in the ground immediately moved positions and the fire wall near Mu Tong and the others instantly extinguished. The trapped demonic beasts were confused for a moment, then roared excitedly and rushed towards Mu Tong's group of people. The people were just killing heartily, feeling refreshed. The combat power of the Tier 6 demonic beast suppressed by the fire array was actually only equivalent to peak phase Tier 5. But then the heat around them suddenly disappeared, and the surrounding demonic beasts rioted instantly, almost causing them serious injury. Ji's combat power was the strongest, so he rather easily avoided the crazy riot of demonic beasts, unlike others who were more or less injured. He looked grimly at Lu Muyen who was standing in the sky. This woman sure was a ruthless character. If she was an enemy, she would become a serious issue. He should find a chance to kill her in the competition space. However, even if the fire array was withdrawn, the beast tide was still divided into countless waves, and they could still kill many demonic beasts to earn points. So even if they were secretly annoyed by Lu Muyen's actions, they could only keep it in their hearts and continue to kill the demonic beasts on the periphery. Lu Muyen, what do you mean by this? Mu Tong was bitten on the arm by a demonic beast, and after killing the demonic beast, she glared at Lu Muyen not far away who watched the play with folded arms. Come and read on our website Wuxia World site. Thanks. Lu Muyen raised an eyebrow and sneered, precisely what you saw. You want to kill us? Mu Tong's eyes rolled in thought, then provoked. Lu Muyen stretched out a finger and shook it, saying casually, I'm not interested in their deaths. If they die in the beast tide, then it would be all your fault. What do you mean? Mu Tong looked at her resentfully. What did she mean by it would be her fault? Because you're hostile to me and want to kill me whenever, wherever, and we don't like each other, so I naturally won't let you all use the array. Even if they want to blame, they should blame you for not being able to recognize your own situation and status. Lu Muyen smiled charmingly, sooner or later, your group will be harmed by your arrogant and domineering temper, so what does it have to do with me? Don't forget, from the very beginning to the end, you provoked me first. And I just happen to have this one virtue. Her eyes revealed a sharpness. If one does not offend me, I won't offend them. If one offended me, they'll send them to hell to drink tea with King Yama. Hearing her words, many people shuddered. It truly was as the saying, servants and women were difficult to raise too. No one doubted what she said. Even if she smiled so gorgeously and movingly, with unparalleled beauty, but no one could ignore the coldness in her eyes. You little bitch. Mutong couldn't resist cursing. Pa. But her voice only just fell when an invisible fiery red slap landed on her face, its crispness resounding. She held her cheek in disbelief. You dared to slap me? In my array, it is not up to you to be arrogant. Lu Mu Yen sneered. The slap just now was precisely a slap formed from her fire elemental energy condensation. Mutong was long used to being arrogant in the empire and in her clan. Aside from being slapped in the cheek by that bitch elder sister, Lu Mu Yen was the second person in her entire life to touch her. She erupted, her current anger also fueled with her previous hatred, and said with a grim and ruthless expression, I'm going to kill you. Elemental energy channeled violently into her long sword, and her middle phase sword monarch cultivation base was in full momentum as she slashed at Lu Mu Yen with all her strength. The cyan sword aura swept out like a hurricane, carrying with it a strong wind elemental power. Lu Mu Yen let out a languid laugh, tapped her finger and drew a Taoist seal in the air. Bang! Then a huge wall of fire surged and instantly engulfed the imposing wind elemental energy hurricane. Mutong paled in shock. How could this be possible? Her full blow was resolved by that woman just like that? And that wall of fire didn't disappear. It rolled over Mutong's head with lightning speed, attempting to engulf her together. Mutong, in her array, she is the controller, don't continue to act and humiliate yourself. Jiyu jumped in front of Mutong and swung a golden sword light out. The wall of fire that erupted rapidly was split in half and was completely wiped out in front of Mutong. No matter what, Mutong was his betrothed. Her arrogant and domineering personality was also once his favorite. They already had the experience between husband and wife 3, plus Mutong's status in the Mu clan, so he naturally couldn't watch her die. Lu Mu Yen, do you want to completely forge a feud between us? Lu Mu Yen saw the hidden grim killing intent in Ji Ye's eyes. Her fingers wound around a strand of hair, playing about, as her red lips parted lightly. Are you saying we haven't completely forged a feud already? One basically calling Luo Li out on his jealously LOL. An alternate version of saying grapes are sour just because you can't eat them. 2. An expression that is used to say that they are difficult people to raise. Usually used discriminatorily towards women, but such sayings are generally used as jokes these days. Don't recommend using it in real life though. Haha haha. 3. They've slept with each other already, something that usually only happens when you're married in traditional times. Chapter 229. Follow me back to be the mistress of my fort. Are you saying we haven't completely forged a feud already? Lu Mu Yan's voice was serene and slow, flowing like spring water, carrying an arrogance and domineering in her nice voice. Jiyu let out a chuckle and said with hostility, good. You really are good. A woman from a small and remote kingdom in the eastern region dared to be this arrogant in front of him. He looked up at Lu Mu Yen with eyes filled with grimness and ruthlessness. Do you think that with this array alone, you can kill us? You can try. Lu Mu Yen looked at him carefreely while playing with her strand of hair, as if she didn't care for Jiyu and the others at all. You truly are very conceited. Jiyu beckoned with a wave of his hand, and 2 dark golden scimitars appeared in both hands. Luo Li killed the last demonic beast within his 4 walls, and a layer of coldness rose on his eyes. Jiyu, you dare to try to touch her? Sinan said slovenly, Jiyu, Lu Mu Yen has now been included within the protection scope of this master. If you want to touch her, don't regret it. Although Helian Lai liked to play safe and protect himself, but Lu Mu Yen had already become an ally, so he naturally wouldn't sit idly by. Lu Mu Yen is already allied with us. If you want to touch her, you have to pass us first. Luo Yi didn't say a word, but he had already shown his attitude when he landed in front of Lu Mu Yen with a flash. Although Yun Zi Mo and the others weren't as strong as them, but they were all ready to fight at any time, advancing or retreating together with Lu Mu Yen. Ji Ye's face was terrifyingly grim. He didn't expect Lu Mu Yen, this woman, to have such power to rally supporters in only a few days. Remembering the array she was using now, an understanding flashed across his eyes. These people were all sounding great by saying it was because of the alliance, but they probably couldn't part with Lu Mu Yan's array to trap demonic beasts if she died. Let's go. Ji Yu had deep scheming and wasn't an impulsive person. With these people working together, they had practically no chance of winning. The humiliation he received from these people today, he would definitely repay it many-fold another day. Mu Tong wanted to speak, but was stopped by his cold look. If it wasn't for this woman, he wouldn't be so humiliated either. It seemed that the position of crown princess wasn't suitable for her. The others also had killing intent towards Lu Mu Yen, but was also secretly annoyed by Mu Tong. Usually, it was nothing to be arrogant in the empire, but she still didn't restrain herself after coming into the competition space. Whenever she saw a sword master who wasn't from a superpower kingdom, she just wanted to step on them a bit. Now, not to mention that she had kicked on an iron plate, but she also implicated them to be unable to use Lu Mu Yan's array to earn points like the others. Although unwilling, but they had no other choice. Lu Mu Yen was guarded by Luo Yi and Si Nan. They weren't their opponents at all. If they remained, they would only lose more face. Ji Yu and the others didn't remain any longer. They turned and returned from the direction they came, with killing intent in their eyes for their humiliation. Lu Mu Yen released the strand of hair she was playing with, her eyes as deep as the sea. This Ji Yu is very flexible, he will be a tough enemy in the future. Lu Mu Yen said. Mo Yan's cold black eyes were filled with killing intent. Just kill him before the end of the competition. Well, do it secretly. Lu Mu Yen nodded, the killing intent in her heart spreading. If one forged a feud against elite pupils of superpower kingdoms, and if they couldn't kill them within the competition space, then after going out, Yanzhou Kingdom would definitely suffer revenge from Ji Yu and Mu Tong. Of course, she wouldn't be stupid enough to kill those people in public. She would just wait until there was a chance to assassinate them, so that the imperial family surnamed Ji couldn't even find a reason to suppress Yanzhou Kingdom. The teams below, listen up. I not only need to use magic tools to arrange the array, but I also need to consume elemental energy and pills. If you want to use my fire array to kill demonic beasts and earn points, I will not chase you away. Lu Mu Yan's face was indifferent, and her manner was cold, but you must hand over 2/3 of the demonic beast's crystal cores you obtained from killing the demonic beasts as cost for renting the array. If you don't want to hand over your crystal cores, then leave immediately. If you attempt to get things for free, then Si Nan's sword won't leave you alive. Come and read on our website Wuxia World site. Thanks. Si Nan twitched the corners of his lips. What did she mean that his sword wouldn't leave them alive? Why didn't she involve Luo Li or Helian Lai? He sure discovered something. This woman didn't only just sought revenge for a single angry look, she was also petty. Didn't he just say a few words to test her that day? Did she have to remember it and take revenge on him? But he didn't say anything against her. He was deeply interested in her right now, so it was fine to be used as a sword. Luo Li fixedly stared at the arrogant and domineering Lu Mu Yen, his eyes even more fiery with desire. He just liked her arrogance and domineering. Mo Ling wanted to make it up to her a little to begin with. Upon hearing her say that, he felt that it was how it should be. Sure. With Mo Ling taking the lead, people from other large or medium, small kingdoms also didn't dare to object. Si Nan, that capricious abnormal monster, wasn't someone they could afford to offend. Right now, points were the most important. Although 2/3 of the demonic beast's crystal cores did make their heart hurt, but they didn't absolutely need it. We agree. Not one group left. They even wanted to just follow Lu Mu Yen and her group like this. The efficacy of killing beasts in beast tides was much faster than during the daytime. Then continue. Lu Mu Yen smiled with satisfaction. Her smile was soul-stirring, but it made many people's eyelids twitch. This woman sure changed her face quickly. Because this wave of demonic beasts was composed of tier 6 demonic beasts, even with the support of Lu Mu Yan's array, it was still a bit time-consuming and laborious. When there was still only 1/3 of the demonic beasts left, the 2 transformation stage demon cultivators in the air finally acted. Interesting. I've long heard that there was a human who used arrays to specifically find the beast tides gathered by our race to kill. Seeing it today truly is extraordinary. A man with one antenna on his head appeared above the fire array, staring at Lu Mu Yen with cold eyes. Another burly, green-haired man licked the corner of his lips and let out a laugh. This is the first time I've seen a human sword master with a physique comparable to that of a demonic beast. I sure want to experience it a bit today. The 2 stared at their target, Lu Mu Yen. After watching the battle for so long, they discovered that this woman was definitely a big threat if not removed. In addition, the close-quarters combat power she displayed also made the 2 demon cultivators a little interested, and their fighting spirit was strong. Your opponent is me. Luo Yi took a step forward, holding a silver longsword in his hand, the shadow of his tall and straight figure stretched long under the moonlight. Si Nan curled his lips into a smile and flew up, landing beside Lu Mu Yen. But just as he wanted to show off a little, she spoke first. Sure. I would also like to experience the stone skin skill of a mountain-moving beast. The fighting intent in Lu Mu Yan's eyes was no weaker than the 2 demonic beasts opposite. She just happened to want to borrow the suppressing effect of high-level opponents to break through the bottleneck between Sword King and Sword Monarch, so she would be happy to accompany this opportunity that came to her door. Si Nan and the others were stunned for a bit. He turned his head to look at her with a complicated expression and said, "Don't try to show off your ability, leave it to me." Lu Mu Yen saw that the look of concern in his eyes didn't seem to be fake, and he was also acting rather responsible to want to share her burden, so the last bit of dislike towards him also disappeared in her heart. No need. I can handle it. If I lose, then you can go up. Lu Mu Yan's stunning face bloomed into a very confident smile, which made Si Nan's heart feel as if it had been hit by something. Huh, what a savage woman. I just like it so spicy, so flavorful. The burly man laughed a few times. If you lose, how about you follow me back to be the mistress of my fort? Hearing the demon cultivator's words, Luo Li and Si Nan's face instantly darkened. In front of the crystal wall in the central castle, there still sat the elders of the several major sects. Sitting in the innermost side, when the white-clothed beautiful man heard the burly man's words, a killing intent flashed across his eyes. Chapter 230, Do You Dare to Bet? If you lose, how about you follow me back to be the mistress of my fort? The words of the Tier 7 transformation stage demon cultivator resounded throughout the canyon, as if he were certain that Lu Mu Yen would be taken back by him. Lu Mu Yan's beautiful eyes narrowed slightly, and a devilishly charming smile rose on her lips. How about we make a bet? Although the burly man was a demon cultivator, but he also liked beautiful women, especially a violent and powerful human woman like Lu Mu Yen who itched his heart. He let out a laugh. What bet? If you beat me today, I'll obediently follow you back to be the mistress of your fort. But if you lost to me, you'll obediently be my elder brother's spirit pet. Lu Mu Yan's eyes flashed with a sharpness. Do you dare to bet? Be a spirit pet? The burly man's eyes flickered, then laughed a few times. Sure. Then let's bet. But just you wait to be the mistress of my fort. If he couldn't even deal with a human sword master at peak phase Sword King, then he really spent the thousands of years in this space in vain. Lu Mu Yan's initiative to make the bet greatly surprised everyone else. Lu Mu Bai furrowed his brows in disapproval and attempted to stop them. Yenner, I don't need any spirit pet, don't joke around with your freedom. Lu Mu Yen cast a reassuring look at him. Elder brother, don't worry, I never do anything that I'm not certain of. Either way, I have to fight anyways, so might as well collect a spirit pet along the way. Lu Mu Bei's eyes were filled with helplessness, but he knew that whatever little sister decided, it wouldn't change, so he could only nod his head. However, he was already prepared to protect her and leave even at the cost of his life if little sister lost. Lu Mu Yan, have you gone crazy? Luo Li moved to Lu Mu Yan's side angrily and pulled her arm to prevent her from going forward. Lu Mu Yan chuckled and patted his shoulder. Little cat, don't worry, I won't lose. You, Luo Li looked at her firm and confident eyes, then turned his head angrily with a cold snort. However, he was extremely worried inwardly. Both Si Nan and Helian Lai felt that Lu Mu Yan was being careless and too arrogant this time, but it was too late to stop it now, so they could only attempt to remedy it later. Only Luo Ye's expression remained unchanged, as if he had full confidence in Lu Mu Yan. The little beauty sure talks big. Then let me see how you win now. The burly man stomped his foot and the entire canyon space trembled. In Lu Mu Yan's eyes, not only was there no fear, but instead, she had strong fighting intent, sure. As soon as her word dropped, the burly man acted first, waving his huge fist, slamming it towards her with the sound of breaking air. A layer of a gentle, light red glow enveloped her hands. She tapped her toes lightly and greeted the fists of the burly man. Boom boom. After the fists of the one human one demon met, it made a few crisp sounds, and the ground below tore open a huge crack due to the impact of the fist storm. The burly man and Lu Mu Yan both used more than 5/10 of their strength, firstly, to test, and secondly they wanted to heavily injure the other with a single blow. Good. The fighting spirit of the burly man was ignited. He was truly surprised that this woman could take his fist. Lu Mu Yan's figure flashed about, then quickly punched one fist after the other, each punch carrying with it a scorching fire elemental energy. Boom boom. The most savage close-quarters combat was performed in mid-air with one human one demon constantly bombarding each other. The loud sounds undulated, and the ground cracked open numerous gashes. The man with one antenna on his head looked coldly at the two figures fighting, then leapt over, but was blocked by Luo Yi. Your opponent is me. The man with the antenna sneered, since you took the initiative to come to my door, then I'll send you off first. Luo Yi held a silver longsword in his hand and instantly entered battle with the man with the antenna. Come and read on our website Wuxia World site. Thanks. Si Nan looked at Lu Mu Yan and the burly man in their physical fight, who were on par with each other, in amazement. It seemed that he still underestimated Lu Mu Yan. But her frenzied fighting really was so beautiful it stirred his soul. Luo Li, how about we compete to see who kills more demonic beasts? Since they were betting, Si Nan was also itching. Luo Li retracted his worried gaze, raised an eyebrow, and asked, what are we betting on? If you lose, you're not allowed to stop me from approaching Lu Mu Yan in the future. Si Nan said bluntly. If you lose, you're not allowed to have your little ideas about her again in the future. Luo Li said without hesitation. Si Nan's androgynous handsome face beamed with a smile, all right. And so the two jumped into the fire array and frantically harvested the lives of the Tier 6 demonic beasts. Although Luo Li's cultivation base was advanced phase Sword Monarch, but he had his own strengths, so his power when battling was pretty similar to that of Si Nan, who was at peak phase Sword Monarch. Above, in the air, Lu Mu Yan was punched on the shoulder by her opponent, shaking her so much so that a streak of blood dripped from her lips. The burly man wasn't too well either. After using his stone skin skill, he was still hit by the opponent's fists that had scorching hot flames, and many places on his body were in burning pain. His heart was also burnt by the force of the fire elemental energy. His eyes were filled with anger. This was the first time that someone had forced him into such a state. After mouthing a few sentences, his body suddenly grew bigger and a layer of gray quickly enveloped his entire body. Not long after, his entire being looked like a stone sculpture. A trace of brilliance quickly flashed across Lu Mu Yan's eyes. The mountain-moving beast had infinite strength, rough skin, thick flesh, and an innate stone skin skill, but they had a fatal weakness. The reason why she was so confident that she could win against the burly big man was because she knew the weakness of the mountain-moving beast after it petrified, but now wasn't the time to act on it. Take this. The burly man raised 2 giant petrified palms and slapped them towards Lu Muyen. Lu Muyen moved and used flash steps to dodge while wrapping the green fog within her around her hands together with fire elemental energy. Using ghostly movements, she punched the man's body one fist after another. Her green sea of fog not only nourished and promoted growth, but also had the effect of penetration and corrosion. But the burly man was a Tier 7 demonic beast after all. Even though he was suppressed right now, but he also resisted fiercely and took an opportunity to slap Lu Muyen again. The palms carried explosive demonic energy palm winds, and after landing, Lu Muyen felt as if her internal organs were all distorted. A mouthful of blood spurted out. When the mountain-moving beast was punched by her a few times, at the time, he only felt a little burnt and a little painful. However, after being forced to retreat a few steps, the skin on his entire body suddenly felt as if it were about to crack completely, and a kind of heart-wrenching pain attacked. The burly man raised his head and let out a shrill cry, making the sword masters fighting below unable to resist looking up at them. When the burly man's palm landed, Lu Muyen felt that the bottleneck that she was stuck at between Sword King and Sword Monarch was shattered inch by inch. Her dantian within began to operate and vigorously absorb the spiritual force of heaven and earth. Excellent hit. Lu Muyen laughed happily, and pinched seals with her hands. In an instant, the wind and clouds of heaven and earth surged, and a hole was torn open in the dark night that looked as if it had no end in sight. Countless 7-colored spiritual clouds were born and landed above Lu Muyen's head. Spiritual energy lightning that contained boundless spiritual force descended one after another, striking Lu Muyen's body. Not only did her face not change, but instead, she wore a hearty smile. Her body was like a sponge, madly absorbing the spiritual force in the spiritual clouds while spiritual energy lightning bolts fell on her body, numbing it, shaping, and repairing the meridians of her entire body. What? She actually wants to use the battle to advance, and she also attracted spiritual clouds for body tempering. She's truly crazy. An elder of the 6 major sects in the central castle pointed at the crystal wall, faltering, completely dumbstruck. Chapter 231. Advance to Sword Monarch. Countless 7-colored spiritual clouds floated out from the slit torn open in the night, and the entire canyon was shrouded in 7-colored neon clouds, beautiful and splendid. Spiritual energy lightning struck Lu Muyen's body one after another. She quickly mobilized her dantian, and the sorcerer's skill roamed around her body, cooperating with her spiritual energy to temper her body again and again. Seeing this, the burly man was horrified. Disregarding the pain in his body, he wanted to turn away and leave, but a distant voice sounded in his sea of consciousness. Kill her, kill her. His eyes that were filled with horror was replaced by scarlet, and he condensed the demonic energy of his entire body into his 2 giant palms, then slammed them towards Lu Muyen. In actual fact, the most powerful aspect of a mountain-moving beast wasn't its attack, but its defense. The reason why Lu Muyen could hurt him was because her fire elemental energy carried a trace of purple-gold spirit flames. Otherwise, even if a strong sword sovereign powerhouse came, it would be very difficult to hurt him. Seeing the trace of scarlet streak across the burly man's jaded eyes and that he had raised his petrified palm to slap towards her, Lu Muyen narrowed her eyes. The opportunity had arrived. After the mountain-moving beast was petrified, he had a weakness where he would temporarily lose his reason, and there was an acupuncture point on his back that, when tapped, would paralyze him for a few breaths of time. What she wanted was precisely for him to go crazy. Lu Muyen, be careful. Seeing this, Luoli flew up and wanted to help. It's fine. Lu Muyen waved her hand at Luoli, stopping him from helping. Luoli sighed and stepped back. This woman was simply too stubborn. Lu Muyen disappeared in a flash and the 7-colored clouds followed her figure, maneuvering around, as if an auspicious omen, shrouding her in a layer of 7-colored warm light. Rise. She shouted coldly, and the golden sword beneath her feet instantly transformed into 10 golden flying swords, all heading directly towards the petrified burly man. Once the mountain-moving beast was completely petrified, the flexibility of its body would be greatly reduced, and its defense would also become so tough it'd be a demonic beast race that could be ranked among the top 50. There were advantages and disadvantages. Ding dang. The 10 flying swords were instantly slapped away by the mountain-moving beast. Even if they all fell on him, it wouldn't hurt him at all and made clanging sounds on the outer layer of the stone surface. Facing an already petrified mountain-moving beast, Lu Mu Yen naturally wouldn't be stupid enough to fight flesh to flesh. Her body was indeed comparable to a Tier 6 demonic beast, but the petrified body of a mountain-moving beast was only even tougher than Bing Ji before his demonic energy was sealed, and not inferior. If she forcibly tried to speak with her fists, then she would definitely receive internal injuries after being hit. Roar roar. The crazy mountain-moving beast who had completely lost his senses couldn't hit Lu Mu Yen each time it attacked, so it grew even madder, roaring and beating his chest with his fists as if a maddened orangutan. Boom boom. He raised his large hands and directly slammed the ground, causing the earth to split open into numerous ravines. The remaining force of the fist wind swept up the stones on the ground and flew towards Lu Mu Yen, forming a powerful whirlwind, its power astonishingly terrifying. Si Nan and the others looked ahead in shock and almost couldn't resist acting. They were afraid that Lu Mu Yen wouldn't be able to take on that power. Even if they took it on, they would probably also be injured. At the same time, the people below turned their attention to the direction of Lu Mu Yen in the distance, while a small part of their attention was on killing demonic beasts. They all wanted to see how she would deal with it. A slight arc rose on Lu Mu Yen's lips. She closed her eyes, and the moment they opened, they were dyed with a layer of light, a look that revealed that she had succeeded in her calculations. With a thought, she set free her Bodhi's limitations to absorb the spiritual force in the spiritual clouds. When her endurance instantly exceeded the load, she moved her hands gently in front of her and drew an 8 trigrams in front of her chest. Then she immediately took a deep breath, pushed her palms out, and the violent spiritual force in her body was instantly transformed into spiritual energy through her dantian, forming a black and white aura. Come and read on our website Wuxia World site. Thanks. An 8 trigrams formed from spiritual energy guarded before Lu Mu Yen, and the violent whirlwind perfectly landed on the 8 trigrams. The 2 spiritual energies of 1 black, 1 white whirled slowly, and the moment the whirlwind landed on the 8 trigrams, it was blocked by a gentle power within it. The energy in the 8 trigrams fluctuated slowly, but each time it circulated, the violent whirlwind would weaken a bit. Boom boom. The more than a dozen 7-colored spiritual clouds gradually converged into a huge 7-colored spiritual cloud, and the spiritual energy lightning bolts that fell on Lu Mu Yan's body was even thicker. The lightning condensed from spiritual energy was different to normal thunder and lightning. It would only appear under certain circumstances, and it didn't have the lethality of thunder and lightning. Of course, when the lightning condensed by spiritual force struck Lu Mu Yen, it would be used to temper her body through her sorcerer's skill, so she not only wasn't harmed by it, but she also obtained many benefits. But if a sword master who didn't have such a body-refining method dared to temper their body with the help of the lightning from spiritual clouds, if they didn't have any special means to absorb it, then their meridians would be blocked by a large amount of spiritual force in the future, and their cultivation would also be terminated. That's why her behavior was so shocking. Without making a loud noise, the violent whirlwind the mountain-moving beast brought was blocked bit by the 8 trigrams formed through borrowing the spiritual clouds and spiritual cloud lightning. Seeing this, the mountain-moving beast rushed over, raised his huge palms, and began to slap the 8 trigrams in an attempt to destroy it. Clang! Lu Mu Yen heard a sound from her spiritual platform 1, and the bottleneck she was stuck at between Sword King and Sword Monarch was instantly shattered by the violent spiritual force in her body. Her body was like a sponge right now, vigorously absorbing the spiritual force in the spiritual cloud. The spiritual cloud gradually shrank, and the spiritual energy lighting weakened, then finally disappeared. When the 7-colored spiritual cloud shrunk, faded, then finally dissipated, Lu Muyan's cultivation base broke straight to the peak of initial phase Sword Monarch. After she advanced, she felt that her entire body was filled with strength. The effect of the tempering of spiritual energy lightning sure was good. Plus, she had been drinking blood sac wine for a long time, so her sorcerer's skill actually automatically broke through from level 2 to initial stage level 3. Right now, because of the dissipation of the spiritual cloud, the power of the 8 trigrams was also weakened, and was finally slapped away by the mountain-moving beast. His eyes were crimson, and he rushed towards Lu Muyan with his huge body. A faint smile rose on Lu Muyan's lips, and she counted softly, 3, 2, 1. Everyone present was curious as to why she was counting, but when her voice landed on 1, the incomparably ferocious mountain-moving beast actually stopped in place, as if dazed, then instantly fell to the ground with a bang. Pung! His huge body fell to the ground involuntarily, and the earth trembled a bit, dust floating everywhere. Lu Muyan tapped her toes and moved to the body of the mountain-moving beast in only a few steps using her flash steps, dust covering her and the demonic beast's body. As soon as she rushed over, landing on the mountain-moving beast, she immediately mouthed a difficult incantation, then slapped her palm heavily, and the Taoist seals condensed from spiritual energy in her palm penetrated one after another into the mountain-moving beast. The spiritual energy Taoist seals that penetrated the mountain-moving beast made the crimson of his eyes fade, and he slowly regained his clarity. After he completely regained consciousness, the ancient contract skill was also deeply wound around the miniature version of the mountain-moving beast in his Yaofu. When the dust and mist dissipated, everyone watched Lu Muyan jump off the body of the mountain-moving beast. Then she looked at the mountain-moving beast with indifferent eyes and said, "You lost." One author never explained what it is, and it's the first time it's mentioned, but I'm pretty sure it might literally be a spiritual platform that's there, blocking her advancement to Sword Monarch, like a physical layer. Chapter 232, Talent is too poor that I'm not interested, you lost. Lu Muyan's voice wasn't too loud, but everyone present heard it. The petrified gray energy on the mountain-moving beast faded away and he found that his demon soul and his Yaofu was already wound with a contract skill. His eyes were a little dazed. He was actually imprinted with a contract seal during a battle where he used petrification. How was that possible? How did you do it? He returned to the appearance of a burly man, stood up and patted the dust on his body, looking at the stunning woman in front of him with a complicated gaze. Lu Muyan didn't say it aloud and instead telepathically said, "After you become petrified, you'll go berserk and your whole body will become as strong as black iron, but you have a fatal weakness. After being stabbed in the acupoint on your back, you'll be unconscious for a while." The mountain-moving beast was shocked. You actually know this secret." The secret of the fatal weakness of the mountain-moving beast was something that even other demonic beast races that the mountain-pushing beasts were on very friendly terms with didn't know. He really didn't expect this human woman to know such a secret. "Don't worry, I won't spread it," Lu Muyan said with a smile, seeing the fear in his eyes. The hovering heart of the mountain-moving beast relaxed a little. If this woman leaked their secret, the entire mountain-moving beast race might face the disaster of extinction. "You kept hitting me with your fists just now, but you didn't get close to my back. How did you do it?" This was also something the mountain-moving beast didn't understand. Although he temporarily lost his reason when he was petrified, but he still remembered what happened prior to regaining his senses. Lu Muyan indeed didn't come close to contact with his back. "When I attacked you with the flying swords, I secretly released a few flying needles. When you destroyed the 8 trigrams, I activated the golden needles pierced on your body. Plus, I smeared the human-eating blood thorn vine king's vine thorn paralysis poison on the golden needles, so before you could even attack me, you collapsed." She actually originally made 2 sets of golden needles. One set was made from Heavenly Frost golden crystal, used to save people, and the other set was made from Heavenly Frost golden essence, used to kill people. The Heavenly Frost golden essence could be considered a divine rank spiritual item together with the soul-nourishing wood and 10 or so other spiritual items, so it was naturally extraordinary, and was incomparable, even compared to the Heavenly Frost golden crystal. Therefore, the refined golden needles could easily penetrate into back of a petrified mountain-moving beast. Of course, separately refining it was also to avoid being exposed. If high-level cultivators knew that she had a set of poisonous needles refined from heavenly frost golden essence, they would definitely be tempted to kill and steal her treasure. The mountain-moving beast was now already imprinted with a contract seal by her and couldn't betray her at all, otherwise he would be purged by the restrictions of the laws of heaven and earth. This was why she told him the truth through telepathy. Lu Mu Yen saw everyone looking at them suspiciously, then said slowly, "If you agree to bet, you must accept to lose. Will you accept the contract?" The mountain-moving beast was very suffocated inwardly. You already imprinted a contract seal on Laozi's one demon soul, and you still ask will you accept the contract? I'll accept the contract. His voice was muddled, and it was obvious that he wasn't happy. Lu Mu Yen didn't care whether he was happy or not, right? He tapped him on the head with her long sword. "From now on, you will obediently be my elder brother's spirit pet, otherwise be careful that I won't be polite to you. If you dare go against my elder brother's wishes, I'll let him massage your back a few times every day." Then her threatening voice sounded in the mountain-moving beast's sea of consciousness. The mountain-moving beast was originally resistant, but that completely collapsed instantly. He must have 8 lifetimes of rotten luck to have met this sort of woman too. If he let her elder brother stab him in the back every day, then without even passing the day, he definitely would be completely paralyzed. Just thinking of such a scene made him unable to resist shuddering. "Who's your elder brother?" Although he was a little afraid of Lu Mu Yen, but if the owner she found for him was weak and stupid, then as a high-level demonic beast, he would rather die than contract him in order to maintain his dignity. Lu Mu Yen could guess what he was thinking. She walked towards Lu Mu Bai, hugged his arm, then walked back in front of the mountain-moving beast. "He's my elder brother." Lu Mu Bai didn't expect that little sister could really subdue this tier 7 demonic beast. While he was shocked inwardly, he was also helpless at the same time, with a doting look in his eyes. "Yenner, his defense is very strong, you can contract him yourself. If we meet others, then elder brother will contract then. Come and read on our website Wuxia World site." Thanks, little sister had offended a lot of people recently, so if she contracted this tier 7 spirit pet, then her strength would be greatly increased, and it would be much safer for her. "Elder brother, I don't contract just any demonic beast. His talent is too poor that I'm not interested. You also make do for now, I'll change it for you when we find a better one." Lu Mu Yen glanced at the mountain-moving beast with unsatisfaction. The mountain-moving beast's nose almost didn't become crooked from anger. What did she mean that she wasn't interested in his talent? It only took him 1,000 years to advance to tier 7. Such talent was already considered a genius among the mountain-moving beasts, all right? The most irritating thing was that she even said that when she found a better demonic beast, she'd change him for that. Damned, was he really that bad? Not only the mountain-moving beast, but the other people present also rolled their eyes when they heard Lu Mu Yan's words. Did she need to be this arrogant? She was even unsatisfied with a tier 7 defense-type demonic beast that was considered semi-invincible. Even if a sword sovereign came, they would probably be tempted by this kind of spirit pet. Just how high were her standards? Truly, comparing oneself to another could definitely infuriate oneself to death. In fact, Lu Mu Yen wasn't joking nor trying to comfort Lu Mu Bai when she said this. She had seen the talent of this mountain-moving beast when she contracted him. At most, he could only reach tier 10, and that was under the condition that he had heaven-defying luck and unlimited resources. The spirit pets she had contracted so far were far more awesome one after the other. Mo Yen had a pure king-class bloodline, an existence that was comparable to a true dragon and heavenly phoenix, with a mysterious background. Bing Ji was the descendant of a Cyan Wan divine beast, and could also be regarded as a divine beast himself. Miao Miao had the pure bloodline of a golden dragon divine beast within her, and after she shed her Jiao and transformed into a dragon, she would inevitably become a golden dragon race, which was a higher-level existence than that of even a Cyan Luan demonic beast, and although the human-eating blood thorn vine king's bloodline wasn't as good as the other spirit pets, but he had superior, heaven-defying talent, and was a demonic plant that was hard to meet even in tens of thousands of years, even rarer than a divine beast. With the comparison of these 4 demonic beasts, her standards for contracting spirit pets were naturally much higher. His defense is very strong. He can protect you a bit if you take him in. Lu Mu Bai continued to push. He thought that what Lu Mu Yen said just now was to comfort him. His defense is very powerful, but wasn't he still subdued by me? Lu Mu Yen directly grabbed Lu Mu Bai's hand, pierced it with a needle, and a drop of blood essence fell on the forehead of the mountain-moving beast. Elder brother, if you don't contract him, he'll be angry. Lu Mu Bai sighed and looked at little sister in amusement, with warmth spreading in his heart. All right, I'll contract. This was a representation of little sister's feelings. Since she insisted, then he wouldn't refuse again. With her talent and strength, she could indeed have better choices. Lu Mu Bai's blood essence entered the forehead of the mountain-moving beast. Lu Mu Yen stretched out her hand and formed a few contract Taoist seals, merging the blood essence with the contract seal and the mountain-moving beast's demon soul. Go contract. Lu Mu Bai closed his eyes, and a trace of mental energy merged with the demon's soul and the yaofu of the mountain-pushing beast to contract. Instantly, a soft, jade-colored light enveloped Lu Mu Bai and the mountain-moving beast, then gradually dissipated after a while. Owner. The mountain-moving beast respectfully called out to Lu Mu Bai. Although Lu Mu Yan's elder brother wasn't as abnormally monstrous as her, but after the contract, he found that this owner's talent was also very strong, with a lot of room for development, so his resistance to the contract was also much less. Lu Mu Bai and the mountain-moving beast now had a mental connection, and a gentle smile appeared on his elegant and handsome face. From now on, we'll be companions. With Lu Mu Yan's help, Lu Mu Bai really contracted this Tier 7 transformation stage demonic beast, which instantly dumbfounded everyone present, including the elders of the 6 major sects who were watching the battle within the central castle. One reminder, lousy is an arrogant way to address oneself, usually used by men. 2. A popular colloquial saying that expresses just how unlucky one is. Chapter 233. The attention of the 6 major sects. The central castle of the competition space. The elders of the 6 major sects could no longer describe their feelings with words at this time. That sword master named Lu Mu Yen from a small kingdom completely impressed them. The gaze of the elder of the Spirit Tamers sect towards Lu Mu Yen was as gentle as it could get, with also a sharp light of desire. With such talent as a beast tamer, if she doesn't come to our Spirit Tamers sect, then it'd be a waste. The cyan-clothed elderly man of the Spirit Tamers sect said forcefully with a smile. The strong and sturdy elderly man snorted coldly. I'd say her best talent is in arrays. Don't even think about contending for her with his old man. Such a good seedling, our 8 Extremes sect would never let go this time. In the last 2 sessions of the Tianling Continent Tournament for Hegemony, the 8 Extremes sect had been robbed of many good seedlings by the other 5 sects, so this time, he definitely wouldn't compromise and let go of Lu Mu Yen. The tall and thin man from the sword sect sneered after hearing his words. Do we even need the 8 Extremes sect to let go? If you can really persuade Lu Mu Yen to go to your 8 Extremes sect, then very well, our sword sect would not compete with you, big deal. Among the 6 major sects, the 8 Extremes sect was last in every sect competition. The top 10 sword masters participating in the tournament for Hegemony had the right to choose their own sect, and there had already been 2 consecutive sessions where no one had chosen the 8 Extremes sect. The remaining 90 people were divided equally into each sect, and not many of the young sword masters who were assigned to the 8 Extremes sect were sincerely willing. This rogue old man actually wanted to take this year's dark horse back to the 8 Extremes sect. He truly was indulging in the wildest fantasy. They believed that with Lu Mu Yan's intelligence and cleverness, she definitely wouldn't choose the 8 Extremes sect that was at the bottom of the 6 major sects, so they didn't take it to heart at all. This is what you said, humph. The strong and sturdy elderly man snorted coldly. He was well aware of the thoughts of the other sect elders, but it was rare to encounter such a good seedling who had such talent for the path of the arrays, so no matter what conditions he had to make, he would not give it up. All right now. If she can advance into the top 100 of the tournament, then we'll rely on our own abilities to try to contend for her. The wise old man from the heavenly secret palace said slowly. This dark horse, the secret heavenly palace, would take it. The elders of the other sects also had their own plans in mind. Either way, aside from those who were already predetermined in the top 10 of each tournament, whenever they encountered a dark horse, each sect could offer conditions to tempt them. The competition amongst the sects had long become a sort of intangible common practice. The elders of the various sects had different expressions, while a very small arc rose on the lips of the otherworldly, handsome, white-clothed man sitting at the very back. Woman, I believe we'll meet again very soon. In the canyon, Luo Li and the others looked at Lu Mu Yen in disbelief. She was actually also a high-level spirit beast master? Wasn't this too exaggerated? She could refine pills, could brew spiritual wine, knew the path of the arrays, and now she could even contract spirit pets. Just what did she not know how to do? What are you looking at me for? Hurry up and kill the demonic beasts so that we can return to the city. Lu Mu Yen furrowed her brows when she saw that everyone was staring at her. The others lowered their heads speechlessly and began to kill the demonic beasts in front of them. However, they noted Lu Mu Yen down, thinking that it would be best to befriend her in the future. Lu Mu Yen, do you know how to refine tools? Luo Li approached her and asked. Lu Mu Yen said with amusement, I haven't refined before. Only after hearing her say this did they find a little balance in their hearts. Otherwise, with a woman with such heaven-defying talent, how could these men, who claimed to be geniuses, continue to live? The other Tier 7 demon cultivator with an antenna was forced by Luo Yi to transform into his original form and retreat in a sorry state. But he also gave a cold look towards Lu Mu Yen before escaping. After all the demonic beasts in the fire array were killed, Lu Mu Yen and the others' points soared rapidly. Her current total points ranking had already advanced to 23rd place. Come and read on our website Wuxia World site. Thanks, let's go back to the city first. With a thought, the jade magic tools buried in the ground to trigger the fire array were automatically shattered into powder. She had just advanced to Sword Monarch with the help of the battle with the Tier 7 demonic beast and the spiritual clouds, so now she needed to return to the city to stabilize her cultivation base. Let's go. Luo Yi also knew that she wanted to go back to the city to stabilize her cultivation base, so he was very cooperative. Lu Mu Yen only took 2 steps before she suddenly turned around and said to Si Nan, by the way, they used my fire array just now and need to hand over 2/3 of the demonic beast's crystal cores, so the task of collecting crystal cores is left to you. The corner of Si Nan's lips twitched. Sure, you all leave first, I'll see you when I return to the city. He just tied with Luo Li in the competition to kill the most demonic beasts, and his interest in Lu Mu Yen was currently very strong, so he naturally wouldn't give up his attention for her. Mo Ling looked calmly at Lu Mu Yen, Luo Yi, and the others leaving, exuding a cool pride and aloofness. Mo Ling, how many demonic beasts did you kill? Hand over the demonic beast's crystal cores. Si Nan walked up to Mo Ling's group and said with a slovenly smile. Mo Ling didn't quite like the androgynous, capricious Si Nan, so he didn't want to be too entangled with him. He took out the demonic beast's crystal cores he had long prepared and tossed it to him, all in here. After he finished speaking, he took the few elite pupils under him and followed in the footsteps of Lu Mu Yen and the others. Si Nan pursed his lips, how very boring. After returning to the city, Lu Mu Yen arranged an array in her room and began to meditate to consolidate her cultivation base. And the news that she could use a fire array to kill medium and small-sized beast tides by isolating and separating them into waves was also spread by scheming people, including the matter of being able to contract Tier 7 spirit pets. However, although there were many people who believed in the situation about the fire array, but was it even possible for a small kingdom's sword master to actually be able to contract a demonic beast 2 stages higher than herself? Either way, they wouldn't believe it. When Lu Mu Yen woke up, she was filled with spiritual energy, and when she flipped her hand over, a cluster of pure crimson flames leapt about her palm. Your fire elemental energy has become much purer again. Mo Yen felt the temperature in the room suddenly rise and raised his head, saying lightly. Lu Mu Yan's lips curled into a smile, indeed. She got up and poked Mo Yan's body, blinking as she said, "Didn't you want to teach me your secret skill?" Mo Yen looked at her without a good attitude, while he had a faint smile in his eyes. "Then let's start learning now." So Lu Mu Yen didn't leave her room, and began to cultivate the secret skill with Mo Yen. One day and one night passed. Although Luo Li and the others didn't know when she would come out, but they didn't disturb her. They rested in their rooms during the day and didn't even go out hunting at night. When a ray of morning light broke through the darkness and illuminated the earth, Lu Mu Yen opened the door and left her room. After she existed, the members of the 4 groups gathered together to have a discussion. Well, leave during the day, and directly go hunting at night. Lu Mu Yen suggested when she saw that the others were filled with energy, having not gone hunting during the time she cultivated. Sure. Everyone was very satisfied with her suggestion. Even if they didn't compete with other teams for demonic beasts during the day, they could still prepare for beast tides. The 4 teams left the city early in the morning and headed towards the distant mountains to hunt. Along the way, it was as if the demonic beasts had disappeared completely, not even seeing a single fur. Everyone knew that this was because they were hunted and killed by the teams of other kingdoms. Right when the 4 teams were discussing to leave and rest at the foot of a mountain nearby to wait for nightfall, there was a sudden sound of battling from the rear. Lu Mu Yan's expression changed, and although she had already walked for a while, she immediately turned around and flew in the direction of the fight. Chapter 234, Retaliate. Verbally hearing the battling sounds at their rear, Lu Mu Yen turned around and flew towards it. Why did she turn back? Helian Lai asked in confusion as he looked at Lu Mu Yan's back that disappeared from sight. Luo Li shook his head, "Don't know." Lu Mu Bai and the others exchanged a look, then turned around and followed without hesitation. "Let's go take a look too." Luo Yi furrowed his brows slightly. He felt that Lu Mu Yan's emotions changed drastically just now. Luo Li and Si Nan couldn't wait any longer to begin with and flew straight into the woods. Lu Mu Yen didn't take it to heart when she heard the sound of fighting just now. After all, there were often scenes of fighting happening over the competition for demonic beasts. But after walking for a while, she suddenly felt Yi Qing Han's elemental energy fluctuation, so she couldn't resist any longer and headed back. After quickly rushing into an open area, she jumped onto a big tree and looked down. All she saw was Ling Fei Yang's lips smeared with a streak of undried blood, face pale, and he stood towards the back, guarding a beautiful, white-clothed woman. Mu Yi and Shi Feng's aura was weak, and one could tell they were seriously injured with one look. There were 2 men beside them who were seriously injured and in a coma. Yi Qing Han, dressed in dark patterned black clothes, held a long sword tightly, and his clothes were ripped in many places. He stood in front of the injured people and stared at the 7 people in front of him with a cold expression. The people in front of him were none other than Mu Tong and Ji Yu, whom Lu Mu Yen knew. "You guys really overrate your own abilities, daring to resist us with such little strength." Mu Tong looked at the several people arrogantly and pursed her lips. The white-clothed woman whom Ling Fei Yang was supporting had a cold look, gasping for breath, saying, "Mu Tong, you let them go and they'll let you do to me as you please." Mu Tong sneered, "My good elder sister, your ability to seduce men sure isn't weak. Just how long has it been, and you've already seduced these people to protect you with their lives. But since you're going to die, then it's natural for me as your younger sister to fulfill you a bit. It's better to send all these adulterers to hell to accompany you." Seeing Mu Ning's face grow more and more ugly, a joyous mockery rose in her heart. "Mu Tong, do not speak such nonsense." Mu Ning spurted out a mouthful of blood and her face grew even whiter with anger. The joy in Mu Tong's eyes wasn't concealed. "Elder sister, you've done it, as simple as that, why don't you dare to admit it?" Lu Mu Yen furrowed her brows. The white-clothed woman seemed to have an extremely cold and calm temperament, and if she fought verbally, she simply wouldn't be Mu Tong's opponent. "Enough, just kill her." Jiyu couldn't bear to look at Mu Ning, then his gaze fell on Ling Fei Yang with a look of disgust in his cold eyes. He waved his hand to the people behind him, leave none. As his former betrothed, Mu Ning came to this competition space and actually hooked up with another man. This made Jiyu feel very unhappy, as if he had been given a green hat to wear. Ling Fei Yang was still gentle and elegant, but had some regret in his eyes. Was he going to die here in the end? Mu Yi and Shi Feng both revealed signs of hopelessness. They simply weren't a match for their opponents. It seemed that this time, they were going to fall in this competition space. The white knuckles of Yi Qinghan's hand that was holding the longsword revealed that he was not at all at peace. He was the strongest in their group. If he wanted to abandon them and escape, he could still do it, but he wasn't able to do such a thing. Was he going to die? A beautiful, elegant, purple-clothed figure suddenly appeared in his mind. Was she well right now? Come and read on our website Wuxia World site. Thanks. Although Yi Qinghan felt the shadow of death gradually looming over, but he didn't want to give up. Don't give up. Even if we die, we have to pull a few people down for us to lie on. His voice wasn't loud but carried with it a firm determination. Even if he fell here today, he would definitely make Jiyu and the others pay a heavy price. Mu Ning pressed her lips together tightly and she couldn't hide the apologetic look in her eyes. She knew that with Mu Tong and Ji Ye's temperament, they would definitely never let Ling Fei Yang and the others go. It was she who harmed them all. After hearing the order, the people behind Jiyu took a step and swung their swords to kill the severely injured people. But who knew that a playful woman's voice sounded in the woods? It sure is the first time I've seen such a shameless woman in this world, not only hooking up with her elder sister's betrothed to become an adulterous couple, but they even have the nerve to say that others are unclean. It truly makes me laugh aloud. Jiyu and the others didn't notice anyone else in the forest before at all, and when they heard this voice, they all looked in that direction. All they saw was an alluring woman in a light purple dress, with a hint of ridicule on her face, jumping down from a big tree and walking over in a leisurely manner as if walking in a courtyard. It's you, bitch. Mu Tong couldn't resist but curse Lu Mu Yen when she saw that it was her. Lu Mu Yen glanced at her, not as much of a bitch as you. Miss, this is our private matter, please don't get involved, and leave quickly. Yi Qinghan still had a cold expression on his face while restraining his excitement. But his clenched fists betrayed his nervousness at this time. When Ling Fei Yang and the others saw Lu Mu Yen appear, they couldn't help but sigh with relief, but then their hearts began to hover again. No one called out her name, and they pretended not to know her when they saw her. Jiyu and the others came from a superpower kingdom and were very powerful. Lu Mu Yen wasn't their opponent at all. They couldn't drag her into the water with them. Lu Mu Yen smiled and walked to Yi Qinghan's side, looking at him with slight mischievousness, saying, Qinghan, why, don't you know me anymore after not seeing me for a few months? I'm going to be hurt. After she finished speaking, she looked at him as if she was so aggrieved she wanted to cry. Yi Qinghan's heart softened, and he sighed helplessly. In such a situation, why do you need to get involved? You are all important people to me, so of course I won't sit idly by. Lu Mu Yen smiled indifferently. Besides, I just don't think they're pleasing to the eyes. Hearing her say that they were all important people, Yi Qinghan's long and narrow eyes rippled, his heart soft and warm. This was the woman he had deeply fallen in love with steadfast loyalty. Oh, I was wondering who came out to fight the injustice, so it turned out to be you, wanton woman. Mu Tong spoke with ridicule when she saw the interaction between Lu Mu Yen and Yi Qinghan, hating inwardly. What? Luo Li dumped you, and now you've come to snatch men from my elder sister? Mu Tong, you're slandering. Mu Ning's eyes were filled with killing intent. Yi Qinghan didn't explain. He had nothing to do with Mu Ning to begin with. It would only be more chaotic if he said more. Lu Mu Yen raised an eyebrow and said with a smile, only a wanton woman would see everyone else as such. A woman like you who seduced your brother-in-law to bed should have been caged in a pig cage long ago, yet you still have face to display your love with that adulterer, as if you fear others won't know how many disgusting things a cheating couple like you have done behind the scenes. She had already heard Luoli talk about Mu Tong, the second daughter of the main bloodline. Her mother was the Mu patriarch's little concubine that became the official wife, and also his so-called true love. After Mu Tun came of age, she schemed and snatched her elder sister's betrothed and even slandered her elder sister's reputation. It seemed that the white-clothed woman beside Ling Fei Yang was Mu Tong's elder sister, Mu Ning. This woman was solitary and cold, without much scheming. No wonder she could be schemed by the mother and daughter pair. Lu Mu Yen, are you going to meddle in our affairs today? Jiyu stared at Lu Mu Yen coldly with a very ugly expression. Having the past between he and Mu Tong revealed by Lu Mu Yen just like that, it not only made him look bad, but the killing intent could no longer be stopped either. You're tuning in to the Biyao's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.